Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. Welcome to Oprah's favorite video game podcast. That's right, the Giant Bombcast, episode 898. I am your host, Jan Ochoa. Joining me, co-captain of the ship. He took the title so seriously, he decided to see all the waves by the Great Lakes of Michigan, Jeff Grubb.
You ever get that feeling when you go into like a wavy body of water for like 2.5 days later, you still feel like you're moving around in the waves?
That's right, because he's juking and he's jiving. He's the most danciest member of this website, Dan Reichert.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Look at him. Like Grubb, you missed it last week with Delight Club, because Kayla and Dan, I think, are some of the most musical, dancey people I've ever seen.
Yes. Yeah. Of the three of the people on that, I would describe the other two as the most musical and Mike the least. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I can't stop dancing. That's my thing.
Yeah, it's in the name. Can't stop.
Whoa.
Jesus, dancing. Okay.
And we have the bad boy of games media. Yesterday was his day. It's a day for Mikey's. Mike Minotti.
Hello. Breathing is bad. I'm going to stop that so people will like me more.
Your comments affect him deeply.
It's a problem.
Everyone, please comment on the video. Mike, we need you to breathe.
We like your breathing.
Just start making up stuff that Mike's not actually doing. Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. It's like,
I hate how he has flesh. It's really annoying.
Oh, he has too many fingers.
It seems like the comments that are affecting Mike are endless, and it's appropriate that we have our special guest today for Endless Mode, Garrett Martin. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Garrett, let's get the plugs and the stuff out of the way, tippy top, because that's when people actually retain all of the information. Endless Mode, tell us about it, sir.
It's a website, and we write about the things that we like video games and theme parks. And my associate editor, Elijah Gonzalez, loves anime, so I let him do anime, which is totally a foreign thing to me. I don't understand anime whatsoever.
Neither.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe we'll try to get wrestling in there somehow. I don't know if that'll happen, but would love to fit it in. But no, it's so I've been editing Paste games at the Paste magazine for a long time, and they were talking about, hey, maybe let's expand this into a whole standalone site of its own, and so we've done that, and it's called Endless Mode. It launched last week. Lots of really good stuff if you like to read stuff. I'm a fan of stuff personally, so go check it out. Yeah.
Garrett, can I make a request for an article?
Totally, yeah.
Can you put out a guide of how to maintain this magnificent beard? Because I can't grow more than this, but I want to aspire to grow more than this and maintain what you have.
I think you have 3 experts on this call every day.
No, I got the struggle beard going. No way.
Mine's kind of scraggly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to get cleaned up.
If you trimmed it up, when I don't trim mine, it looks like Dan's, it gets that sort of like, West Virginia mountaineer bootlegger type of look to it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jan's over here with the Dom Mysterio mustache, and Dom seems to be doing fine.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a good look.
Yeah, I have thought about growing a mullet, but then I realized I would just be Dominic Mysterio.
Again, worst things to be.
That's true. That's true. How's everyone doing? We had a holiday weekend last week. Grubb, you're back from vacation. Do you feel rested at all?
It was more vacation than a trip. I was talking to Jason Finelli on Game Mess Mornings on Monday, and he was telling me his wife has a distinction between a trip and a vacation. Like going to Disney's a trip. That's because it's not really, you don't get a lot of time to relax and stuff like that. This was definitely more relaxing. And so, yeah, by the end there, I was definitely like, oh, I'm getting in the vibes of hanging out. And I played through an NES game because it felt like summer, and that's what I like to do in the summer and stuff like that. So,
Wait, I'm sorry. Disney is called the Vacation Kingdom of the World.
Well, Disney's never lied.
He's thinking. Are you listeners?
No example.
He's thinking about Disney lying.
He's got nothing. But yeah, I felt really good. I'm happy to be back, though. You guys did a lot of fun stuff while I was gone. I was really enjoying watching a lot of it. That Baby Steps video, very funny.
Oh, man, I'm looking forward to playing that.
I was there the whole time.
Yep. I'm surprised Backler not heard of QWOP.
Yeah.
Has he not heard of that? Bothers me a little bit because Quap
was
is
a
important to
thing.
me. It's
That was a thing,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, Bennett Foddy. I mean, I'm sure you guys talked. Like my family was talking and like laughing, watching you guys play. So I kind of heard a little bit. You guys talk about Bennett Foddy is the guy in the game, the guy that talks to you. I'm pretty sure that's him.
Oh, I
Is he,
didn't
wait,
realize.
is he the dude walking, or is he the dude that's following you around?
He's the dude that's following you around.
Oh, the Rob Corddry looking dude. Yeah,
the Rob
okay.
Corddry guy. Yeah. And so yeah, I love the idea of a Quapetition because Quap is so good.
Yes, it is. What's that?
Yeah.
It was browser based, right?
Yeah, it was I think that was a Flash game, and then I think he turned it into an HTML5 game, so you could still play it.
I was about to ask how you control it. It's Quap.
It's Quap.
Yeah. The letters. Yeah.
It's literally in the name. Yes.
Yes.
QWOP.
Do they do QWOP at good games done fast or games done quick? What's going on right now?
Surely they did, right?
They probably have. Yeah.
I've done that, right?
They did a Blueprints race yesterday. It was like a bingo thing.
That's such a good idea.
So there's this bingo board, and there's two people, and like if they did certain things in the game, like you had 10 gems, or you drafted the east hallway and the west hallway, that would be a slot in the bingo thing. And you had to kind of like fill up the bingo board
Such a
so
good
that
idea.
it like made a path to the antechamber from the start. It was cool.
Oh, that's really cool. Wow.
That was neat.
Okay, I had the urge to just do bingo on the website last week, and that was just shoot bingo, just regular bingo.
Yeah.
Now I want to do some type of game bingo.
Do like a Hyrule Hustle, like Breath of the Wild with bingo. Let's just steal the idea.
Death
Yeah,
Stranding bingo. I feel like Death Stranding 2 bingo would be easier than like a race.
Yeah, like shove a corpse into a coffin board, soothe the baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Have Dollman give life advice.
Yes. Dollman anime dance.
I'll do it. I'll make a bingo board for some video game for you all. I'll be the bingo. What's a word that starts with B? That
Baron?
like
The bingo
massive-
baron?
The bingo,
Bingo
baron.
Baron.
I'll be your bingo baron.
He'll be the
baby.
bingo bear.
You'll be the bingo Baron Bear.
Yeah, the Bearstein Baron Bears.
There it is.
Anyone get up to grilling this weekend? No.
I was
I ate
going
ice
to.
cream.
I was going to my pellet grill though. It's like I got it going first time like this year. It's like the fan doesn't work. So now nothing can happen. I'm like, well, don't know how to fix that. Oh no. So it's like, oh no, am I ever going to be able to use this thing again? I need to because it's too expensive to just write it off, but also seems like a pain to fix a fan that's connected with electrical wires. I looked at the wires. That didn't help. I may as well have never have looked down there. That only made me feel worse about the situation. So I had to like call somebody. I don't know. I don't want people coming over here. Leave me alone.
I went to a 4th of July gathering, and my I guess we'll call him a nephew because he's a friend's kid, and he calls me Uncle Jan. He approaches me, and he sits down. He's drinking his like little water bottle, and goes like, "Uncle Jan, I still have that dog in me."
There you go.
And I was like, "Hell yeah, I believe in everything again." All right, well, let's talk about video games since this is Oprah's favorite video game podcast. Don't look it up. It is strictly the truth. I would never lie to you.
Like Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think if we just say it enough, it'll become true.
What lies have Disney ever told? I guess they told me that Toy Story 4 would be good.
Oh,
And it was great. So they did lie.
speaking of Disney lies, I bought the DVD copy of Love on a Leash. And it seems like, first of all, Bonk noticed the lady on the cover does not seem to actually be the actress from the movie.
They did it. That's even more than what Noobs did, because Noobs is like,
Yeah.
we're going to put a busty
Random
lady
hot
that's not in the
lady,
movie. Yeah.
And then on the back of the Love on a Leash DVD case, the top pull quote in quotes is, "It's like the Princess and the Frog meets Pinocchio," and it's unattributed. And you can't do that. You can't just put something in quotes and then no attribution at all.
I mean, maybe they're saying it for the first time right there. Put it in
I
quotes.
guess.
It's episode 898, so we're so close to episode 900. But 3 of you boys, Garrett, maybe you have partaken as well, have been playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4. How is that? Is it everything I dreamed of? Is it like 1, 2?
It's a lot like 1, 2. That's definitely the format they're going for here. I got a code early. I've been playing a lot of it. We did record a quick look that's probably going up later today, so you'll see that. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is my favorite Tony Hawk, so as soon as we got 1 and 2, I like that a lot. There's always a part of me that's like, ooh, but I kind of want 3. That's the best one. So having this, getting those 3 levels, and it's like, yeah, this is the best one. These levels are so freaking good. Foundry and Airport and Cruise Ship. It's just so much fun playing through those still. I love that campaign. The more contentious thing is the 4 campaign, because they took what was this more open thing. You had kind of free skate until you talked to an NPC, and then they're like, you go collect the letters of skate. Then you do that, and then they applaud you, and then you go and do another thing. So they changed all of those maps to the 2-minute timer thing with their own set of goals. A lot of them inspired by those original goals, but not everything's here, especially some of the weirder ones from 4, like, oh, go luge down this hill, or play tennis with your skateboard, stuff like that. It's not here. So they definitely took 4 and made it a different game. Now, the game they turned it into is very good. I think that they did a great job adapting it to the 2-time structure, a structure that I've always liked more than the open world stuff. I think the levels, I was worried that these levels were designed with, the more open stuff in mind. They wouldn't really work for this. That's not the case. They work very well, but it is different. And, if you're a mega Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 fan, you might resent that change. It's not me, though. I'm fine with it. And then they put in some new parks in this one, too, and they're all kind of part of the 4 campaign, and they're great. There's
Cool.
Pinball, which is kind of like
Water
the new
park.
Water Park is amazing. It's one of my favorite Tony Hawk Pro Skater levels. And there's the Movie Studio, which is a new competition level. So overall, I love it. I think it's great.
I thought you made a good point on the quick look that's going up, where you were talking about how, like, we were really reminiscing about the first levels, warehouse and foundry, and hangar. And then you realized, like, well, actually, maybe some of the best levels were the smallest ones, just like very tightly constructed small ones. But yeah, the bigger ones, like Water Park is huge, and it's really fun. A bunch of teleporters and stuff like that. I want to speak specifically real quick to the Switch 2 version, because that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, I was playing on PS5, and obviously it looks good on there.
Yeah, so I played last night in one sitting. I did all the goals on 3, and I got about halfway through 4. And it runs well. I would say usually when you like start and load into a level, it kind of like it seems a little hitchy, or almost like the frame rate's a little weird. And then it just pretty quickly just evens out, and then it seems to be running at 60 beyond that.
Ooh. Open the shaders, it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
Although that doesn't make sense for the Switch. Okay, yeah, weird.
Well, yeah, but it's a little hitch, and then it seems totally smooth. I'll say I don't like playing it on handheld because that D-pad on the Joy-Con sucks. Just the 4 little buttons for Tony Hawk doesn't work great for me. So mainly on the TV. My main complaint would be like 5 or 6 times last night just crashed. The game totally just like stops running, and it was like, hey, there's been an error. You're gonna have to close the game. And so like I'd be in the middle of a run, going for a high score or something, and it's like, well, I guess none of that counts. So I don't know if that's widespread, but I definitely ran into it like a couple times an hour last night. I would say
I had one crash on PlayStation 5, just one though, and like that's kind of normal for playing a game technically before it comes out. So I didn't think too much of it on PS5 at least.
I have been playing it as well, and I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 in like the last month and a half, and I think what I realized is, while this is the old version of Tony Hawk, right, the 2-minute structure, the open structure actually feels older to me in a lot of ways, because it's like they try to do so much more that it has just shown its age, where this is like a more pure thing. So I just think like when you're facing this decision as a studio like Iron Galaxy, and you're like, do we want to try to accommodate the weirdness of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4? It's like you could do that and it would be more accurate, but I think it might actually result in a game that feels a little bit more dated than they want it to. Now, I get it. That a lot of people like that stuff. They like the variety. So if that's a complaint, I get it. But for me, I just think they ended up making what feels like a tighter game because of that decision. And then it's still Tony Hawk. It feels incredible. It's really cool to like immediately get into the vibe of landing those perfect landings after doing your own sort of 7-8 or 700 or whatever, 720, and then kind of getting all the special moves going and finding your line and doing that stuff. That's how I like to play Tony Hawk. I like to try to get the massive combos and things like that, and it's just as good as ever. And then the roster of playable characters, I've watched some professional skateboarding in the last couple of years, So like Nija and a bunch of others, just seeing them in there and looking awesome
Hell yeah.
was very cool. Yeah.
Garrett, any experience or any fondness for the Tony Hawk franchise?
Yeah, well, I mean, the new game, that pinball level is amazing. Like,
So
the
good.
best part of the game is when you're playing the pinball level, and the very first time you realize there's a gigantic Tony Hawk playing the pinball machine that you're skating in. So there's like this Galactus-sized Tony Hawk looming over you, like he's, you know, a malevolent figure. But no, the pinball level is really cool. I'm a big pinball guy. That's one of the sections at endlessmode.com. And you could tell, like, when they designed the pinball machine within the game, they were definitely looking at real pinball machines and trying to make it feel like how a real pinball machine would be laid out, you know? And they do some cool stuff. Like, they have an upper play field that you can, like, get into and grind around and everything. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and yeah, I really like the structure of you go through both campaigns, you get all the goals, and then it opens up the pro goals, so you can go back to all the levels. This is where you have things like, there's a new score to get up beyond the 6 score. It's more difficult. This is where you have to do the combo letters, where you have to get all the letters like skate. You have to do it in one combo, and there's other like trickier things you need to do. And for 4, a lot of them are inspired by original goals from that game. Was anybody bothered by the soundtrack changes? That's another talking point. Is that there aren't a ton. It's not all the songs from the original games. There's a lot of new ones.
Yeah. So it's like 20 less. You know what's in the news? Let me just get it real quick. It is less than 20% of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 soundtrack is made up of songs from the original games. Only 10 songs from the original games, alongside 54 new tracks. Tony Hawk has said that he's like, I wanted people to discover new music in this as well. And so I'm like, this is my decision. I'm sure that's part of it, but I bet a part of it is it's just probably cheaper to go get new songs rather than people having the leverage of, you want our song back? You're going to have to pay us a lot more. I'm sure that's a huge part of it. They just wanted to save money. And I'm of the opinion of, I didn't think we were going to get this game. So if this is what is required for them to put it out, I'm accepting it. Although, the music in Tony Hawk is a little sacred. So I get if that's going to hurt some people.
Yeah, I mean, I think the new songs are good. So, it is a new soundtrack. I guess there's a bit more with this one than maybe 1 and 2. Whereas, like, maybe even then, it's like, these replacements for the original. And with 1 and 2, it's like, I could see myself maybe almost never going back to the originals and just playing these. With 3 and 4, and especially 4, it's like, there's still plenty of reasons to go back and play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 on the PS2 or even 3.
Or if it showed up on Nintendo Switch Online, right? Like the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, like that would make total sense. Those two things can stand next to each other.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, like these definitely aren't replacements in that sense, but just as what it is, it's still just so freaking good. And I have nothing but a good time when I'm playing it. Like I think some people might just like get really fixated on what isn't here, I suppose. But it's I get it, but it just doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I'm looking at the soundtrack and the new songs that have been added to 3-4, and I feel like they kind of match the vibe of the game at least.
They do.
Yeah.
They really
They got
do.
Iron Maiden, so
They
fine.
added some Run the Jewels, right? Like that to me, that's pretty cool.
And some of the new songs are old songs that would have made sense if they were in those games 25 years ago. Like, there's a Gang of 4 song in there.
Yeah.
Natural's not in it, and that's a pretty awesome one to skate to, especially when you're inside a gigantic pinball machine.
My 1 and 2 that I'd be pissed if they didn't make it are Ace of Spades and If You Must, and both of those made it. So,
Exactly.
all right, those are my favorites.
I 100% agree. Those are the two that I needed, and they're here. So,
And I don't know if this is just that digital deluxe edition or whatever that came with Doom Guy, but like Doom songs will just come up on the playlist
Oh, that's
sometimes,
fun.
and I'm like, that's good. That's good.
Any soundtrack that features King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is an A+ for me, just because that's such a fun name to say. Mike, can you be the Lizard Wizard for us?
What does that mean?
All right, moving on to the next game.
I'm the wizard lizard. I'm gonna cast water spells because I am a reptile, which isn't really
Just
an
mute him.
amphibian, but still water
You have
adjacent.
control over this, Jan.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No,
Teenage
those-
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
He's just going to keep going, Jan. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to like work in a segue in what he was saying, but the back and forth just wasn't there. Just like the
no,
back
there's
and
no,
forth.
Heroes
there
on
was
a
no
Half
back
Shell?
and or forth.
No, not with Mike Minotti, but there is a back and forth in Rygar with that shield.
That's right. Yeah. So I mentioned like NES in the summer. So I would go to the beach a lot of these days, or go to the pool, and nice sandy beaches up there on Lake Michigan. It was a really good day. But then like I'm like, okay, I'm starting to like get tired and hungry. And what I would do as a kid, and you know, this is a nostalgia fueled thing, is I would go back into the basement with the air conditioning, get some pizza or something, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then play some NES. And so I was just like, my brain's like, you should go play some NES. And I had the Switch 2 with me, got NSO out, and I started up Rygar, a game that I've only ever like touched a couple of times just to see what it is. And I'm like, you know, I'm gonna really try to play through this thing. And I saw that people can beat this game in like 40 minutes, perfect. So I went in there, kind of got some pointers about, hey, here's where you need to go to get some things. Oh, here's something you never would have figured out. You can use the crossbow to shoot across this chasm, and there's a thing off the screen you can't even see, and you need to do that to get across that chasm. I'm like, oh, okay. Now that I'm past that, I'm sort of figuring out what this game's whole deal is. Turns out Rygar, pretty fun. That's a good NES game. Really holds up.
I feel like
It's
I'm probably
awesome.
with you on that, Grub, where it's like I would see it in my friends' collections and stuff, but it's a single player games. It's like we never really pulled it out when I was, staying
Right.
over or whatever. So I've never really played it as much affinity I have towards the NES. Maybe I should. It's on Switch Online.
On Switch Online, it works really great. It's one of those games that has kind of a checkpoint system a little bit, and there's no lives, so you can just brute force it. But also, it has the rewind on NSO, so just use that because you're effectively getting the same thing there. And it's got so Rygar, for people who don't know, it's an action game. There was an arcade game. This is different from the arcade game in that it's kind of a light Metroidvania style game where you get weapons that unlock new paths, and your main weapon is sort of a Belmont whip, but with a shield on the end, and you can upgrade that so it has a longer attack area, things along those lines. And you are upgrading your character so it becomes more powerful, and you have more hit points, things like that. And all of that works really well. And all that's just like, you're going to defeat enough monsters, and you're going to upgrade your character so you can do the thing where you sit in a corner and hit enemies that are spawning over and over and cheese it that way. It's like really solid. Like, it's much more robust than I was expecting.
It's kind of a better Castlevania too, right?
I think so. Yeah, I enjoyed playing it more than I have the NES Castlevania games. At least the 2. You're right, up to 2.
Sorry to step in, but Simon's Quest, man, there's like a mystery to it. Like, there's so much weird stuff in that game that you don't really like, that you just sort of stumble across. And Rygar, I would say, is maybe slightly less esoteric,
Yes.
But I might be a little bit older than you guys. Like, I think Rygar was one of the earlier NES games, and like, at least in my town, among my like friends in elementary school, it was like one of the bigger ones at the time, because it came kind of before, like, I think it was before Castlevania 2. There weren't a lot of Metroid style games on there yet. It was one of like the big ones at the time in like 87 or whatever. But like, most kids I knew seemed to be into Rygar at the time. And it infamously has like those really jacked, bald gurus with the big bushy beards that look like those like guys in those crappy AI ads about how to like build muscle mass in your 60s,
The ones that are like, I'll turn into a lion or whatever.
Yeah, right. It's pretty awesome.
It's awesome. And like, they all have like different like either quotes to like help you figure out what's going on. One of them was just like, it's 2 a.m. time to party and let the monsters out. I'm like, what is happening here? Or they give you a weapon, and it all feels pretty neat. Like, it has its own weirdness, but it is pretty straightforward once you figure out a couple of the tricks. So yeah, and now I'm like, I never played Rygar on PS2.
Okay. So that's what I was going to ask y'all.
Please.
My only experience with Rygar is the PS2 game, and obviously massive departure going from 2D to 3D in several console generations later. But how was Rygar on the PS2 received originally?
Really well. It was really
received
well received. Yeah.
I remember at the time it was kind of the first PS2 action game that came out after God of War, and it was kind of like that. So a lot of people like, if you liked God of War and you got to have more, here's Rygar. It's based off an old game you never played.
To me, this is like what makes that generation the best, the PS2 GameCube generation, because we could still get a follow-up to an NES game, and it would rule.
They were doing weird stuff then. Like they were trying to do like a
Weird
Vector
stuff,
Man.
yeah.
They did an Altered Beast that maybe only came out in Europe or something. Yeah, I feel like Sega was trying a bunch of weird stuff.
Final Fight Streetwise.
Streetwise,
right?
Yeah. Narc had a comeback. Fucking Maximo is a Ghost and Goblin successor.
Maximo.
Like,
Yes,
weird shit was
Maximo.
happening
Yeah.
then.
So it's got me like wanting to like try to. I'm doing Grubs gimmicks this week. I'm letting people vote. One of my ideas was going to be, before I kind of had too many other ideas, was to try. Was like, old versus new, and I was going to play some old Rygar, play some new Rygar, play some old Ghosts and Goblins, play some Maximo, things like that. So
we need to do like old Shinobi and then that PS2 Shinobi before the new
I-
one comes out.
Yeah.
I really like the PS2 Shinobi.
It's cool. And then there's Nightshade or whatever, which is the sequel where you play as the girl Shinobi, and that's good too.
There's Strider. They did that new Strider, which is actually pretty
Strider's
solid.
oh, it's awesome. Yes,
That was
There are a
actually
bunch
just
of
another
Striders you
2D
could do,
one.
yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
Metroidvania. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Did the Vector Man PS2 game ever come out?
Never
no,
came
it got
out.
canceled.
I was
Yeah.
upset at the time. I don't know why I was upset. I was
I
such a
like
Sega
Vector
fan.
Man.
I was such a say I like Vector Man for a game I can't get past the second level of. I liked it. Yes.
Either way, Rygar was awesome. I do recommend it. NSOs. Man, there's a ton of NES games on there. Actually, I'm like, I should play through a bunch of these.
They have a good NES library. They have some sort of like point-and-click adventure games that were NES exclusives, like Nightshade that I never played that I might need to do at some point. I don't know.
Mike Minotti, you have been continuing down the Splatoon train as of late, and finally you have gone to the Octo expansion in Splatoon 2.
Right. I'm sorry. I just realized I think I called two things Nightshade during that last segment, and neither of them are actually called Nightshade.
Are you okay today?
I'm still
Did you
thinking about my
eat some
breathing.
Nightshade? Like, have you,
Like
I mean, he
like
told us when we started, before we were on the air, he goes, "Oh boy, it's a day for Mikey's," and then he couldn't explain if that was positive or negative. So something's going on with Mike today.
Mike, I need you to analyze your chi and the cheese, okay?
Okay,
Ah,
I'll take
and
care
ka.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been continuing to play through the Splatoon games, and now I'm on the Splatoon 2 expansion, the Octo expansion, which I always heard was good. I think for a lot of people it was weird because most people don't think about the single player stuff in Splatoon. And right? And but like for Splatoon 2 and 3, they actually just released like whole additional campaigns as DLC. And the Octo expansion is just part of NSO expansion pack, I think, if you have that. And this rules. This is maybe one of the best ones yet. Because the structure here and all the other ones are kind of like, oh, you're in like these sort of floating islands and you access levels that way, and it's neat. Here, you're on a subway. It's like it's like a transit line is how you're accessing all these levels. No, it changes everything, Jan. It changes everything. All right. So
Do
like, you're finding
Squid Kids pull off like showtimes in the Squid Kid subway?
No, everyone's very respectful while sitting there. It's okay.
Okay.
Right. But like, you know, but there's a lot of lore drops. So in this one, it's the off the hook girls, Pearl and Marina, who are kind of like your radio buddies, but you're also in a text chain with them. And Gramps, who's like the old mentor guy, who was kind of like the person you talked to in the Splatoon 1 campaign back then.
Oh my God.
It's just like every once in a while, it's like, oh, there's a new like message chain. You read these things. It's sometimes you learn about like their roles in the war and things like that. And then other times it's like them trying to teach Gramps how to use a question mark and access emojis during the chat and things like that. So all of that like flavor, it's just really good. And then all the levels here. The Splatoon 3 campaign is clearly inspired by this one because like the base Splatoon 2 campaign, all the levels are relatively straightforward. Like, you know, go do Splatoon stuff, fight the enemies, get to the end. Here, every level has some kind of a gimmick. So it's like, you know, break all the targets while you're on the grind rails, or get through this level without stepping in any enemy ink, or, you know, shoot this ball to the goal. Stuff like that. And it's all really fun. So, yeah, I've been doing nothing but these Splatoon campaigns for basically almost like a week after the Switch 2 came out. That's what I've mostly been doing. I still just been having a good time with that. It might take me all the way up to Bonanza at this point.
Oh, wow. Okay. Garrett, we have a limited amount of time with you, sir. Have you been playing anything you want to chat about?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I got to take off early. I got some interviews to go do, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of. You guys, are you familiar with those M2 shot trigger games? M2,
No.
it's a Japanese developer. They do a lot of. Yeah, they take like these old shoot 'em ups, like kind of like the ones that are considered like maybe the best by like the hardcore shmup fans.
Sure.
And they make these new versions where they have like these panels on the side of like all this background data you're not supposed to see. And they're pretty amazing. Like they'll break down the games, like they'll take a map and break it up into like 7 sections that you just like, you can play that one section just so you can master it over and over, you know, and so that when you play the whole game, like you can, you know what you're doing. And I've been doing like, just sort of bouncing between like 7 of those for the last week or two, which is really bad because I can't keep any of them apart at this point. Like they're all one massive game in my head, you know?
Does one stand out? Do you have a favorite among them?
Ketsui something Deathtiny.
Oh,
I don't know if it's
Deathtiny?
Deathtiny.
Did they combine death with destiny?
That's
It
great,
looks like
yeah.
Deathtiny, and I don't know if it's pronounced Deathtiny or Deathtiny. I
It's
hope
Deathtiny.
it's Deathtiny.
It's destiny.
Remember
for sure.
Definitive Edition?
Yeah, that one's pretty great. And Battle Garega, which I think typically gets called like the best shmup. I like the
I've
shmup
heard
bands.
of that one. People always do bring that up as like a favorite. I've been dipping my toes in the shmup world a little bit, so I still got to I'm still like I gotta play R-Type. Like that's that's like where I'm
Oh, boy.
starting at here. I'm like learning what a caravan mode is and things like that. But it's like this whole it's a big part of gaming, and yet there's a separateness to it. It's kind of stands on
Yeah, it's got its own scene.
It's like pinball, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of like pinball.
And hey, we cover both at Endless Mode, along with theme parks too. Big theme park guy. You looked excited about that there.
I love theme parks. Have you been to Epic Universe yet?
Yeah. I went there back in May. It's pretty amazing. Have you been?
Yes. I've been there a couple of times now.
I
and
just
it's-
tell him you got to go to
okay.
the previews.
I went in March. But
Yeah. I was
it's,
there in April and May too. Yeah.
Oh, well, March is earlier than me. It's not a competition. But, no,
He's our guest. Stop.
my bad. Yeah. It's great. And I was just at the test track, the new test track previews a couple of weekends ago. I was not
Awesome.
the person who crashed into that door, so I'm okay.
Good.
I'm doing great.
How is the new test track? What do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's a big improvement over Test Track 2. I call it Chill Track. It's got surprisingly chill vibes going through it.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? How?
It's just soothing. Like it's like
They're like palm trees like
there's
everywhere.
like there's just like nice people talking to you on the radio. There's not palm trees, but there's pines.
Okay.
You're like
It's a
going
pine.
through like a national park or like a redwood forest or something.
Kind of
right?
feels like yeah. And there's like some good effects, and yeah, I just like it.
I just
Yeah.
realized how broke my brain was here because I was about to ask you, like, oh, was that the new ride that you were on with Cody Rhodes? And then I realized that was a fucking Photoshop that someone made of you on the ride. The one where you were really scared? Was that Test Track?
No, that's the Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think you're talking about Garrett's like, I never did a ride. Yeah, no.
Someone photoshopped you in a ride with Cody Rhodes, Mike, and Dan thought it was real for a second.
That's funny. Do you like that Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind? I'm a bit of a wimp, and I finally tried it.
It's amazing. No, it is. I love it, man. And, like, okay, so that ride, if you don't know, it has 6 different songs that are like randomly generated, and like it doesn't change the way it moves or its speed, but it feels like it's
Recontextualizes it.
Yeah, it recontextualizes like the experience of the ride to make it feel like you're, in rhythm with the songs. And have you gotten all the 6 songs yet?
I only ever did it one time, and that was enough for me. I'm a coward.
He says he'll never do it again.
Really?
It's too much for me.
It's a little. I mean, it's. I get a little discombobulated after it too. I gotta like hang out for like 10 minutes or so before I do something else.
I got to hang out for like another 10 years, and then maybe I'll get some bravery again. Bring some Xanax with me. You can put me on there.
Did you pregame some Dramamine before you hopped on?
Oh, I Dramamine the shit out of it. Absolutely.
Dramamine to the eyeballs. This guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always got that with me because I always brag about how well I do in airplanes, but that's because I use performance enhancers, Dramamine, so I just sleep during them,
Who
right?
is bragging about their performance in airplanes?
I've
Mike
seen it
is.
happen. I picked him up at the airport once in Minneapolis here, and he bragged about how good he was.
I know. I was like slept the whole time. I do
was a
brag
good
about
boy.
it. I was like, 5-hour flight. It was like instant transportation for me. I was fucking Goku on that
Bad
shit.
Boy Games Media, the good boy of consumer aviation.
Yeah, I think he said it as a response to me being like talking about how I have like panic attacks on flights, and I was really struggling at the time. He's like, "I'm perfect. I do so good on flights. I don't have any
Wait a
anxiety."
second. I was trying to help. I'm the one who told you maybe if you stopped having 15 beers before the flight and just took the Xanax your doctor gave you, you'd be better off.
Turns out that's you don't have to pee as much, and it works just as well. So
Yeah. Turns out.
Wow.
Garrett, I'm trying to remember. There's a shooter game that I played for the first time. That's like it's a really popular series, but it's got like a weird long name. That probably doesn't narrow it down much. That genre,
that
does
is
it?
Basically everyone except like R-Type maybe.
Yeah.
Gradius.
Yeah, it's not.
that's-
Don't stop saying
Zero
it like that.
Wing.
yeah.
All your base are belong to us.
Yes, it was Zero Wing, Mike. Thank you. Yeah. It was Dodonpachi. Thank you, Merlin in chat.
okay.
Yes. I tried that. I had a Colorado night the other night, and this is back a couple months ago, and I tried that for the first time. It rules. It's
cool.
Yeah, well, like what was the gimmick of that one? It just seemed like it has like really good bullet hell stuff going on.
I mean, that is like one of the big bullet hell ones, which
Yeah.
is sort of like very different from what shooters in the 80s were. Like they
Yes.
hadn't really gotten to like, completely covering the screen with bullets. That one, it's kind of just, it's surprisingly kind of slow the way you move
Yeah.
through the patterns of bullets. It's more just about like seeing the pattern and like very minutely like using the D-pad or whatever you're using to sort of get out of the way. It's a lot of it is memory for those games. I mean, a lot of most shmups is memory, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
I think the thing with that game was it just feels like the developer is like, here, we're going to throw all our tools at you, and we're going to provide a path for you to get on the wavelength with us and feel like you are a part of the action, a part of what we're doing here, and kind of getting on that wavelength was super satisfying. So it's hard to maintain because you're right. Like there was things where it's like, oh, if I didn't have this memorized, I'm just simply not going to be able to do it. But there's moments there where you can sort of just play the jazz along with them, and it's like, the bullets they don't fire in the bullet heaven, and that was super cool. So I'm gonna play more Dodonpachi, I think.
it's a good one, and it's all like anime girls, but also bees. Like there's like a bumblebee or like
just
hornet
understand.
theme to it or something.
Oh.
It's a cool game. It's a good one.
Garrett, because of time, I'm going to spare you from me talking about anime horse ladies.
Okay.
But one more time for the folks.
I got a heart out too, guys. Sorry.
No. You're stuck here.
You
Oh, he
gotta
went down the
go.
stairs.
No, he went downstairs. There's a mirror back there. I can see you're not going anywhere.
Garrett, one more time, tell folks about Endless Mode. Y'all launched last week. Please tell the folks at home where they can find you, where they can find more about Endless Mode.
Yeah, cool. Endlessmode.com on the internet. And, like I said, all kinds of video games, pinball, anime, theme park coverage, tabletop board games, all kinds of playful things that people like to do for fun. You can find me on Blue Sky. That's like the only social media I'm really on right now. Garrett Martin, 2 R's, 2 T's. So thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Garrett, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
We have another pinball aficionado on the website. What is like the top 3 pinball machines currently for you?
Currently, Godzilla is the best of the modern Sterns.
Okay.
That's, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years old now. I was at a show in Atlanta a couple weeks ago where they had the new Harry Potter, and that is blowing people's minds. I am no way a Potter guy. Like, it's a little annoying as someone who doesn't care about Potter to see like Epic Universe and this pinball machine, like amazing works of art built around something that I kind of actively dislike.
Sure.
But so people love the new Harry Potter pin, and personally, I love a lot of the older ones. I've got a Cyclone in my house. Play Cyclone all the time. That's like a late 80s, like kind of a carnival, like amusement park themed one.
Let's wait the new Jaws one because I like that a lot.
The new Jaws is great too. Yeah, Stern has been doing some really good stuff. The new Jaws is great. The new Godzilla is great. They just put out a King Kong a couple months ago, and that's really good. I haven't played the Dungeons and Dragons. They put a Dungeons and Dragons one out earlier this year, and I know a lot of pinball guys don't like it, but a lot of pinball guys dislike a lot of things.
What? No way. Not like the theme park fandom, am I right?
Right, yeah. Jaws, Godzilla. If you see a Potter, give it a shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett, one more thing.
Sure.
Is there any hot pinball lingo we can drop on someone that loves pinball? Like insider info.
Damn, that's a good question. I really have to think about it. I feel like I'm being put on the spot a little bit here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We'll circle back.
I got it. We'll talk about the reverse flippers, and then he'll know.
I will tell you, we almost called Endless Mode Playfield. We almost gave it a pinball name, Playfield, but we went with Endless Mode instead.
I dig it.
That's good.
Because the Earl was available, basically. That's the main reason.
That's how it works.
Once again, folks, thank you, Garrett Martin, for joining us.
Thanks,
We're going to
Garrett.
go take a
Thank
quick
you.
freaking break. Check out endlessmode.com. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Thanks so much, guys. It's been great.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Don't push back. Oh. Don't push back. Oh. Don't push back. Oh. Don't push back. Don't push back. Oh. Don't push back. Oh. Don't push back. Don't push back. Contents under pressure. Contents under pressure. Huh? Content under pressure. You can shake it anyway. Well, you can.
Welcome back, everybody. We're still talking about video games. Special shouts out again to our special guest, Garrett Martin. Check out endlessmode.com. Boys, I'm a little glad that Garrett had a heart out because I didn't want to embarrass myself and get worked up in front of a person that I'm just meeting for the first time.
Don't worry, we'll judge you very harshly as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, moving is difficult and everything, and like I haven't unboxed my PS5 yet, so I haven't gone back to Death Stranding much. But I've still been playing games. The game that has been dominating my time, unfortunately, is Uma Musume Pretty Derby. This, folks, you may have seen on the internet. This is the horse girl game. It is a gotcha game. So it's not a dating sim, and it's
Can you describe Horse Girl?
it is an anime lady with horse-like ears and what I am assuming is a tail.
They don't turn more into horses, right?
No,
They
So,
just
like,
run
when they
the
go to
track
race-
like that.
When they go around and when they go race, they're not turning into horses and it's a horse race. It's just girls running around a horse track.
horse girls running around a track.
Jen, what
Yeah.
percent of this
I
is
apologize.
intended to be sexual?
Well, I don't
That's
find
dealer's
any of-
choice, baby.
Yeah, I'm looking at the horse girls and I'm like, none of this is appealing to me. This is just stuff. This is just fun times. I'm
So
Looking
it's
at
not-
them too. I see Gold Ship. I see vodka.
Gold Ship is top tier horse for me. I wanted to like not go with Gold Ship because Gold Ship was very popular amongst everyone playing Uma Musume right now. I'm like, you know what? Let's give Gold Ship a try. And Gold Ship has been consistently winning me these races. Okay. The flow of this game is there's several flows to this game actually, but there is a career mode where you can level up your trainee, and your trainee is the horse girl you are training up with. You are developing a platonic relationship, a professional relationship here, where you have a set amount of turns before a race. And in these turns, you're choosing to either rest up to preserve energy, do some recreation to improve your horse girl's mood, embarking on smaller mini races to level up and gain more fans. And then the main thing you're doing is you're choosing different stats to train. So speed, stamina, power, guts, and wit. I don't know what wit has to do with racing, but it's there. And
Yeah.
you pick a trainee, but you also have a series of 6 support cards, which are your friends. So when you're doing training, your friends will pop up occasionally and give you little stat bonuses as well.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is it true that all these horse girls are in fact based off of real life famous horses from the Japan racing scene?
That very well may be true. I have not.
So there was actually a special week who was a shoot horse, and this anime girl called Special Week is a tribute to the real Special Week. This chat is saying this is correct.
Well, there we go. It's perfect. I have developed a fondness for Special Week as well on top of Gold Ship. So maybe I will go explore that.
Let's find the actual. I'm gonna find the actual Gold Ship now.
So the funny thing is there is an obscene amount of dialogue in this, right? And like there are like light choices.
Damn, it was sounding really for me until that.
Here's this. You have an option to skip all of that. And then you can continue on doing training and races. Gang, this game is actually going to destroy me because the races you could skip, right? When you finally get down to like,
What can you not skip?
Get back to the just staring at horse girls. What do we do? What?
No, to get to like the light gameplay where you're choosing like stats to train up and everything and
Okay.
relationships.
It's like
Like,
general
when-
manager mode of WWE 2K.
It is pretty much that, but with horse girls.
Gold Ship was a real horse, a Japanese thoroughbred that began a racing career in July 2011. All right.
2011, fairly recently. But I have never, like, whenever I've gone to Vegas or I've passed by like casinos or whatever, I've never understood betting on horses, right? I've never understood the excitement of that. I've never understood the excitement
I agree.
with like even NASCAR. F1 I get, right? Because that's like super fast cars. But I will skip all the dialogue. I'll skip through all the career stuff, all the backstory that's going on with each individual horse girl. I don't care that we're on summer vacation and I don't care that they're building a new facility here. I don't care about the luchador horse girls like a cooking journey or whatever. Yes, Grub.
Is there breeding?
There's a lot of reading. If you choose,
No. Is
No,
there breeding?
It's a reading.
Oh,
Is there-
breed.
Can
No,
you breed your?
This there's nothing scandalous happening here.
And
Grub.
that's
What are you talking
no,
about?
I'm talking about horse breeding. Like, you gotta or Pokemon breeding. You're
Grub,
trying to make the
please.
best horse girl.
These are horse girls with their own personalities and
Life
their own
finds
feelings.
a way.
Anyway, I have never skipped a race. All right, I've never even fast forwarded a race because I will wait. Because this is some of the most thrilling action I have seen in legitimately years. I will get so upset because oh no, it's raining today and we're racing on dirt. Goldship isn't acclimated to running on dirt, but we've made enough friends.
That's
that
the plot of Cars 1.
This I the whole time I'm thinking this is pretty much just Cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, you level up Goldship enough that she's better at running on dirt. She has enough power, and then she has the rainy days ability, and she's made enough friends that as she's racing along, her friendship and her skills proc that she just starts bolting down the track, and she goes from 18th place to first place. It's great because also at the same time, there are Japanese commentators yelling the whole time while the race is going.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's just so great. It's so amazing. I love this game too much. I have not spent a single dime. I know there are folks with their phones ready to do a wellness check. Scout, it's okay. Dad's fine. But it has been a fantastic time waster and time melter because I'm just so invested in the journey.
Go in for the kill on Dan now. Tell him that you stopped playing Death Stranding 2 so you can play more of the horse racing game.
I did stop playing Death Stranding 2 so I could play more of the horse game.
Oh my god!
See, I feel like I'm just going into 2025 is just going to be the year of the degenerate. I'm going to grow a mullet. I'm going to just obsess over this horse game.
It's a day for Mikey's, but it's a year for Jan's.
Do you keep the horse girls in stables, or do they get their own homes?
They get their own homes. What are you talking about, Grub?
I don't know. How much horse, how much girl?
How much are they girls? Like, do you own them?
Yeah,
No.
do you own girls?
No, it's like a team, and they decide to join your team and everything.
You don't have to put anyone down.
No, you don't have to put anyone down. Should we do a spin right now? Let's do a spin right now.
Do a spin, sure. Yeah.
Okay. I'm fielding any more questions. Dan, you look perplexed.
Yeah, I'm glad everyone's got hobbies.
Okay. I'm buttoning through. Oh, also, when you win a big race, the horse girls put on like a J-pop, K-pop style concert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Oh, I just got my login bonus. I got a bunch of carrots today.
Oh, good for you.
Literal carrots on sticks, huh?
No, it's gold carrots. No one's gonna turn into glue. Not on my watch.
Oh my god.
Okay, hold on. Oh, this
Is
is
it-
this is
this
the
the gotcha
luchador.
thing?
Kinda, yeah. This is the luchador horse girl. You can
Yeah,
see that,
see.
right? Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
let me just,
kind of.
wait. Let me
Yeah,
just-
and we can
wait.
kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Wait.
definitely 95% girl and 5% horse is even generous.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. I'm gonna do this. Okay, hold on. No.
Huh.
Okay, that's not working.
Yeah.
Sean, don't text me while the show is going on.
he's
Okay. All right. Also, I'm a big fan of like this gotcha where they just give you an obscene amount of rolls from the tippy top, so you don't have to spend money as long as you are like an early investor.
Yeah,
See, they're
sure. A
coming
lot of
out
the first hits are
gates.
free.
Look at them. Oh, it's all
Yeah, I see.
silvers.
It's
Oh,
this
it's all,
is-
okay. We got one gold.
that
All
one
right.
goal. Okay, I mean, look, people have been
Hara Urara. Okay. cool.
wow. They've done a lot of
Sakura
research into making these
Bakushino?
gotcha reveals exciting.
Yes.
Nice nature. God, I'm just not getting. Okay, another Bakushin. I can't read that one.
What's Bakushin?
What's Bakushin with you?
Here's a-
Oh no.
Oh, we gotta
Here's
go.
a-
Oh, okay, we got vodka.
Oh, vodka.
Another nice nature. Okay. All right.
There's that luchador.
Okay. All right. That was a good roll.
Was it?
It was. We got 2 stars.
Oh,
Okay.
good. We got 2 stars. Dan is so upset.
Dan, do you feel like you're guilty by association, or
Are you gonna call the cops?
I do
Now-
think a SWAT team's about to arrive. Yeah.
Now, Dan, what if these horse girls were like, I don't know, on like a technical ship to welcome you after each journey that you took, and then like I don't know, there was like a doll man there as well.
I don't trust the Peku lady in that.
The
in
VTuber?
Death Stranding, the VTuber. Yeah, I'm wary. I'm wary of the VTubers and the anime girls and things. I didn't get her to 5 stars. No.
Hey, is Lightning McQueen based off of like a horse or a racer?
Lightning McQueen.
Probably
I'm sure
Steve
it's
McQueen, right?
it's a
Yeah, I
reference
mean-
to a bunch of different stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
because there's a McQueen, a Majoro McQueen in this, and I just got so jazzed that I used my special voucher to get her.
They're
Also,
probably
there's
both named after Steve McQueen. Yeah.
there's another horse girl. I forget her first name or her surname, but the main part of her name is Top Gun, and that just is cool as hell.
I like that.
Folks, we're gonna-
If I had Mr. Beast money, I would create the Reichert prison, and I put Dan and Paul Reichert in there, and I would only let the first one to like reach a certain threshold of gotcha in the horse girl game would get let out, and the other one would have to stay in there for like 60 days.
He
or something
would be
like that.
much more upset than me.
Oh yeah, and you would be
much
very
more.
upset. So it's like, yeah,
Through playing a lot of video games and stuff, I've had to be adjacent to anime so much
Yes.
more than him. So I do feel like my defenses are up more than his. I think he would freak out at everything.
I think you would be psychically damaged. Yes,
I think last
Reichert's
time
Rikers,
anime
yeah.
came up with him, I think he said like, do the Japanese put a bunch of weird sex stuff in all their games because they love that Animotion stuff, right?
Oh,
Yeah, not wrong.
Yeah.
Wait
I'm
till he
wary of
learns
it.
how much porn the United States produces.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he's aware of that.
folks,
It's like when people had to explain to Jim Ross that people found Gail Kim attractive.
Right.
Remember that's
boy.
like said they make a porno just like that. Like, what?
Folks, I'm gonna subject these 3 gentlemen to the Jantucky Derby this Thursday, right before the voicemail dump truck. I'm going to share the excitement. I feel like there's a high likelihood after that stream, at least one of them will be interested in horse girls. And I'm not going to tell you which one I think it is.
Look, I know you think it's me. It won't be.
No. It's going to be Dan.
It will not be
I'll go
Dan.
in with an open mind.
Speaking about very anime, a game that is super duper very anime is Gitaru Man.
Yeah, this
This
is
was
my
a great stream, guys. I was
Yeah.
vibing.
So much fun.
yeah.
This was my Delight Club game. Got a week off after being a good boy who beat Rascal PS2 rhythm game that I never beat. Turns out from the people who would eventually make
One of the
Elite
horse
Beat
girls
Agents.
called me a good boy. Is that anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sexual
this is a
for
sex
sure.
thing.
Yeah, uh-huh.
This
Okay.
is a
Sorry,
sneaky
Mike. Go ahead.
sex thing. Sorry, Guitar Man's not about sex.
No. There's like a romantic interest, but it's very sweet. Actually, maybe my favorite song was when you were just playing this romantic acoustic guitar lullaby
think
at
that's
a
my favorite song.
campfire.
And she's got
Yeah.
like a health bar for like her love, and she's like
Yeah.
scooting closer as you're like doing
Right.
like guitar stuff.
So-
The game is so fucking great.
It's very Parappa in that it's like each song is kind of a segment. What's wrong?
Just
Parappa?
Don't worry about it.
Parappa the Rappa.
Parappa. So
Parappa.
Yeah, that's what you said. I don't know, man.
Parappa the rapper.
Thank
Parappa
you.
the Rappa. That isn't right. You're correct. I did say that wrong. But yeah, it's like Parappa the. That sounds weird when I say Parappa the rapper. It's like that. It's kind of
Parappa the
each
Rappa.
song- There's like a story, and each song is like a story beat also going on there. And it's also zany and kind of wacky, just like that stuff is. But the actual like rhythm mechanics of it, of pushing these buttons with the directions and kind of wiggling the analog stick so you're always facing the right way, it just works really well. It's familiar yet unique, but it is so much just about that style and that goofiness. Jan, that's enough with the horse girls.
Okay.
Put
sorry,
it
sorry.
down. I'll put it down, or else I'll put them down.
Oh, I don't have to put this
No.
on Steam. I can just get it on my phone, or I'm going to download it.
Oh my god.
I'm a strong man.
But It was great. The stream was fun too because Kayla had costumes ready for
Of
each
course she
song.
did. Fucking of course she did.
That was incredible.
She looked
Yeah.
like the Buffalo people from Flintstones at one point.
Yes, I thought the exact same thing. Right, exactly. The Order of the Water Buffalo.
That's
By the way, I was watching her play. She was streaming Death Stranding 2 last night, and she was trying to curate a playlist on Sam's in-game music player, and she kept coming across all these like somber wood kid songs and stuff, and being like, "This isn't the vibe I want. I need more hype. I want more hype." And it's like, this is Death Stranding through this like introspective, meditative like thing. She's like, "This isn't hype enough." It's like, yeah, wood kid's not working for her.
Oh, do they have that Woodkid song I like from the Assassin's Creed Revelations trailer? Iron.
I don't think they would have that in another game, Mike.
No one else remembers that song was in that trailer but me. It's okay. But yeah, Guitar Man was great. Liked it a lot. Definitely I don't know if hidden gems the word. I think a lot of people know about it, but it's a game that I should have played earlier. It's straight up my alley.
Another argument for why the PS2 may be one of the best consoles because it had Guitar Man on it.
It had a lot of weird. It had so many games.
Yes, and again, weird shit and like major AAA, awesome. Like it was just, I think it's the best console of all time.
I mean, that generation, clearly the best generation. Like at least for 3D games, yeah.
Yeah, is there any other rhythm games of that era that may have been gone underappreciated?
Mad Maestro.
Which, check out. Yeah, was kind of the other.
I mean, there's obviously like Frequency Amplitude. That wasn't.
Well,
really
what
under
is
the
Guitar
radar.
Man Lives? Is it just Guitar Man again?
That was the PSP version,
Right.
Yeah, because I remember I was like, "Ooh, I got this Guitar Man. It's kind of a rare, valuable game back then." And then the PSP one came out, and it like plummeted in value. And God damn it! Now it's online.
It'd be like that. That's what's going to happen to my Cubivore once they put that on NSO. I know it. It is going to happen to my Chibi Robo, which was also pretty expensive, and that is coming to NSO.
I am very excited about playing Chibi Robo. I've never played it.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn!
It is first party Nintendo. It's a tiny little robot guy in a big world. Everything about this screams a game I would be very, very into. And
I love the
I've
idea
never
of having to
played
plug yourself into the wall. I remember thinking that was
Yes.
always really cool.
it. Yes, I'm going to love Chibi Robo. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, it was one of those games that I demanded to play at my friend's house that had a GameCube because I didn't have one. God, Chibi Robo. Also, what a great name for a game. Moving along to other games, Mike, last night on Mega Man, you played Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Stole Time.
Yeah, and
Sex thing?
no, this one's not. This is
Does it
just.
sound
Has the
really
word
like a
fantasy
sex
in it.
thing?
Is there a
Wait,
horse in it?
does it sound like a sex thing?
His
It
mom
does!
made him think that Final Fantasy was a
Yeah.
sex thing, so had fantasy in the title. Now
You're
he's doing the
just-
same thing to himself.
Yeah.
Just the word fantasy and the word. The
That's
fact
why,
that there's the word.
that's why I got shit for wanting to rent Final Fantasy VII.
What
Fantasy
about the
baseball's
Mariah
about
Carey?
fucking.
What about the
Mariah Carey
song?
and ODB?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. But I had to
Yeah.
wait till college to get into that. So.
No, this is like more Animal Crossing or like Harvest Moon adjacent
like
kind of thing.
My Sims, I bet, is like
Yeah,
happening
but-
here a little bit. Yeah.
But the choice is that they do add more RPG stuff to it. So, like the whole gimmick is that you have to pick a life, and you can have multiple lives, and this is basically jobs or classes. So you can become a wizard or a paladin, like a fighter, and there's kind of a leveling track for that. But you can also become a fisherman or a woodcutter or a blacksmith. Those have their own leveling tracks, and then. There's kind of, at least early on, it's like, it's the bit of that Tom Nook thing. Like, well, I need 10,000 gold or whatever it's called in this game. And I can get that any way it takes by completing quests with these jobs, by just collecting items and selling it, that sort of thing. But, it's just one of those really kind of cozy, good vibe kind of games. It has that diorama look to it, sort of like
Cute.
like Animal Crossing, but even kind of like the Link's Awakening remake.
Link's Awakening. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just all sort of cute and chill. A lot of people are getting into this, and apparently the game opens up in a pretty insane way. It just keeps getting bigger, and there's more and more freedom. Like right now, I'm still getting my handheld quite a bit, which makes sense. I only played for a couple of hours, but even I was beginning to see how it can open up and become something that is just very easy to lose yourself in. Very good kind of podcast game or something like that.
It's got really good quality of life features where it's just like it's going to tell you where to go get the stuff. It's going to make it easy to get around. It's just like very friendly to the player. And it's like, hey, we know what the good stuff is here. We're gonna get you back to that really quick. And then I'm like skipping the cutscenes because they're not doing anything for me really. And that works because like as soon as the cutscene ends, if it told me something important, there will be a whole text box about here's what you should have learned from that, or
Sure.
like here's the thing you actually should take away. And so I am kind of just doing that and getting a good idea of how to play the game. And I'm playing as an angler right now. I think, Mike, that was the next job you took.
I did the angler. So, it's just a fishing one. It's fun because there's a fishing mini game and it's familiar, but has some of its own stuff going on. And it's very satisfying.
And there's like, so there's people all around the town with text boxes if you could take a quest from them. And if they're white, basically it just means you have a job that applies to the quest they're asking for. If it's blue, I think it doesn't apply to you, so you probably shouldn't take those yet. And so it's like you can go do these quests and earn money that way, or you could just go fishing and then sell fish to the restaurant and stuff like that. So it's kind of like giving you those options too. Is like sometimes I just want to brute force it and do my own thing and feel like I'm making my own choices. The game does that, so then when I get sick of that, I can all right, I'll go get back on the treadmill of doing the quests that they want me to do and earn money that way. And then you get big payouts. And so it just has this nice back and forth to it. And this is early on still.
Even like early on, if you are like a mage and you want to go fishing, you don't have to like go to a menu and become a fisherman. If you just go up to the fishing spot and push A to go fishing, it automatically changes you into the angler. So, and then if from there, if you bring out your weapon to start fighting, you immediately change back to your combat class. So all that stuff is very snappy.
Okay. Speaking about Mega Man, Mike, just real quick, I want to hear about Dune Awakening that you played on Wega Man last week.
That's true. I did play that last week, and I liked that a lot. Another game that I think a lot of people are talking about. I play a lot of MMOs, but not a ton of the survival kind. So, there's a lot of onboarding and whatnot with that.
This is it closer to like a proper MMO or something more like a Valheim type of deal?
Can I ever play? I think it's closer to a Valheim. I mean, again, I haven't played much of these. What it reminded me of was when I played my preview of Grounded 2 at the Xbox's Summer Game Fest thing, right? You know, like you're collecting resources, and then it's like, okay, now build your shelter. Now inside your shelter, build this thing so that you can build that thing. Go back out in the world so you can collect more resources. That was very much the driving loop of everything. But then it has all that good Dune flavor I think a lot of people are really into right now. Even the traversal is fun because you have a grappling hook and you have Breath of the Wild kind of climbing, right? So you can climb on any surface until your stamina runs out. And that's just, I don't know, that's a very good traversal thing. Turns out those other people knew what they were doing. But yeah, Christian actually jumped in and was kind of showing me around a lot. So it was kind of fun going where even just like the stuff to build my base was simple enough that I could see myself just having fun trying to get elaborate with that. Like, early on, I'm just like, okay, just give me something that works so I have a space to be in. Because there is also the element of the sun, and you do have to worry about your hydration and not being out in the sun too long. One of the first things you build is like a blood converter. So you can take blood from the people you kill and store them in blood sacks and take them back there and put them in this thing, and then it turns it into water. And eventually, too, I was able to equip the thing where it's like the pee diaper, where I pee into the diaper and then it turns into water and I can drink it.
The still suit?
Yeah, whatever it's called. I like the pee diaper personally. I think that's a good name. But you can drink your pee.
Great. Yeah, I was gonna ask, Mike, how deep into the Dune lore does it get from which you played?
I'm not super sure. It's an alternate universe, so it's like not directly tied to the events of the movie. It's like, what if this didn't happen? Blah blah blah. And I'm not super deep in the Dune stuff. I have nothing against it. I think it's good. I just didn't devote the time to it. But, I think if you like Dune, you are going to appreciate all the Dune-ness of it.
It is mostly the visual style of the movie, right? That's what they're trying to, the current movies, right?
I think that's clearly what they're tapping into here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, David Lynch fans.
In chat, is there a giant bomb clan? Yeah, I think Christian started it, right? So
Christian did start a giant bomb clan. Let me see if I can find, because these things, it's all nonsense words in this game. It's North America, House of Fiqh, Fiqh, and then Sietch Arab, Sietch space Alraab. So that's the clan for giant.
Lisan Al Gaib, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Easy.
I'm very curious. I'm not normally pulled into these types of games too, Mike, but I'm not even that big of a fan of Dune. But just watching you play this, it just kind of had its hooks in me for some reason. Did you ride a worm?
I did not ride a worm yet. Christian was
Yeah.
on some kind of motorbike thing, just
Oh, hell
doing
yeah.
laps around me while I was running around like an idiot.
Ornithopter or what?
Nah, I don't know. It was on the ground. He wasn't flying.
Okay.
There was some of that worm stuff too, right? Like don't walk out in the open for too long. I didn't attract any worms myself, but I was being careful about it.
This is a
Mm.
parentheses positive comment, and this is a compliment actually. But I feel like Christian is our Duncan, Idaho.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's died many times, come back. It's crazy. Yeah.
Before we get to the news, Jeff Grubb, you have something gaming related. You have the Steam Deck and Windows handheld woes.
Steam Deck's broken, and I hate
What?
Windows handhelds. So my Steam Deck died, and I didn't realize the battery was dead. I thought it was charged, so I tried to turn it on, and then it like went into the BIOS, and I'm like, oh, I'll just reset. And I think during that process of like trying to boot in from the BIOS, the battery just went kaput, and so I think the BIOS is corrupted. And I've done a ton of stuff to try to fix it, and nothing's working. So I'm gonna have to call Valve, I guess, and maybe RMA it or whatever. And I hate doing that. But whatever. I really want my Steam Deck because I was wanting to play Tony Hawk on it. But I'm like, oh, I have these Windows devices, and I'm like at like an even lower point with these Windows devices from this last week, where the girls want to play a lot of Minecraft, and it just worked out better to have the Windows devices because of all the shit they were doing. And like this, because they would try to like spawn a million cats, and it was causing problems even on the Switch 2. So it's like, hey, this is running like shit. Let's use these Windows devices. They have a little bit more power, and Windows just is still so terrible. If Minecraft goes into like sleep mode on the Windows device, and I bring it back up, it just won't recognize the controller. So I just have to quit the game and restart it. And I'm like trying to teach the girls how to do it, but they're 6 and 8, and it's Windows, and they haven't used that a ton. And so
more
it's like
Linux.
Yeah, they're much more into Linux. Yeah, actually, they're running Unix
Ubuntu?
systems.
Now, it's like, I recognize this. It's a Unix system. They're like the girl from Jurassic Park.
Exactly. And it's like that's just like the start of it, but that's really annoying. The girl will finish playing at night in bed in the hotel room when we're all sleeping there, and she plugs it in, she takes care of it, sets it off on the table, and it's just blasting these LED lights to let you know it's charging. It's blasting right in my wife's face, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I gotta go find these things, put it in hibernate, which is not an option that is that defaults to. You have to go in the power options and enable hibernate versus sleep, and then that does some extra stuff that makes it work better. But you have to go to a different menu to make that an option, like when you're trying to shut things down. Having to update these things, everything's in a different place depending on each device. But even like within the device, it's like, okay, I gotta update it in my Asus bullshit, and then I gotta find the AMD app, and I gotta update that over here. It is still such a pain in the ass to use. And then it still does the thing where I will try to enter password or something, and about 1 out of every 15 times, which is enough to be very annoying, but not so much that you can be like, well, it always does this. The keyboard just won't pop up.
Yes, and then I have to like figure out, is there like a hotkey or something that can make this pop up universally?
I have to go like to the Windows like accessibility options and bring up the Windows accessibility touchscreen keyboard, and it's very frustrating. So I'm just like was ready to throw these things out of the fucking car by the end of the week, especially because it's like the girls were getting very into Minecraft when we were having like rainy days or whatever. Yeah. And so it was like all day one day of me just fixing problem after problem after problem. I'm just kind of sick of these things.
I liked my ROG Ally quite a bit, but kind of as soon as I have a Switch 2, which is basically just as powerful, but isn't doing all the Windows stuff and has needs me to open up 4 different apps to completely update the system and things like that. It's like, I'll use this now.
Yep, that's definitely where that's a big part of it too, Mike, where I'm just like, I've had the Switch 2 now, and I just want to be using that thing because they just got to figure it out. It just works. So I'm going to try to play most games on there and get this goddamn Steam Deck fixed up. God, that's frustrating. If anyone has any ideas about how to fix a BIOS, let me know. I would really appreciate it. But yep, that's where I'm at. Other than that, just looking to still play a bunch of Switch 2 over here.
Yeah. Y'all, I don't know if you know this. Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it, 9 days?
See, you're all looking forward to it. I have a colonoscopy before that, so I can't I have to think about that first.
You play it during?
You can have a Bonanza of your own.
Yeah.
There was a guy that told me he
Bonanza.
was playing Switch during his vasectomy. Can he not do it for the other side?
So
The other
colonoscopy is
side.
very different from a vasectomy. I will be put under. I will be not conscious.
I would like to be put under for both. Yeah.
I agree. I'd put me under for anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, but honestly, it's the operation is fine. It's the day before where I'm not allowed to eat anything and have to take the evacuation pills all day. That's kind of
Oh,
miserable.
yeah.
That's the rough day.
Evacuation pills. That's a good title of a podcast there. Jeff Grubb, the news. This is the news with Jeff Grubb.
Wow.
Mike Minotti did it last week, and it was great.
Did a good job, Mike.
Thank you.
I helped.
You did.
help.
You did.
Yeah, I
actually,
like that. Yeah, that was
Oh
fun.
right, that's right. My dog came. I had to go get my dog.
Dan read the news. Since then, that day where that was like foretold and a bunch of reporting that Microsoft was going to cut a bunch of jobs, it happened on last Wednesday, and it's like 9,100 people across Microsoft. A lot in the gaming division, a lot in Xbox. The reporting says that this is them trying to reallocate money, so cut jobs in Xbox to put more money into, you guessed it, AI.
Fuck off.
Because that's growing and Xbox isn't. It's kind of that simple. Although, AI is not necessarily growing in terms of how much money it's making, but they see a chance for it to grow. This says I got a list of things that happened. Like half the Xbox research team laid off. What does that mean? Probably that they're just not that interested in it. Like that. This is probably what led to them not doing their own Xbox handheld. Is they're like, well, we're not investing in that all that much anymore. That sort of thing. The head of Xbox Family and Child Safety was laid off. The devs responsible for Warcraft Rumble were let go. Xbox canceled Perfect Dark and closed the initiative.
That one was wild.
That's crazy.
I mean, aren't you embarrassed? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, but like, my gosh, I'm embarrassed for you after talking that thing up as quadruple A and promoting it and showing it off and like making us get all excited for it to just cancel and close the studio. It's pathetic.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, I had to rack my brain for when I saw the headlines pop up about Perfect Dark getting canceled. I didn't know if that was a different Perfect Dark project or like the Perfect Dark that we've been seeing for what feels like decades now.
Nope, the one from the initiative, the studio they started, like that was going to be their new big California studio that was going to be able to take people who had worked at Naughty Dog and worked at Riot and all these things, and we're going to make this awesome thing. And it's I heard a year or so ago that was in a rough spot, and there was a lot of pushback, being like, "No, it's
people
not."
got mad at you and like, yeah, you were right again. But geez.
And it's I'm like, okay, I kind of bought into it. I'm like, all right, yeah, they're going to show the game off. It must be in a better situation. And now we're like, of course, turns out that what they did show off was mostly smoke and mirrors. I know there was people who pushed back against that and said, no, that was really it. And I'm sure there was real parts to that trailer, but a lot of that stuff was just not. There's not much there that was real. Either way, Mike, you said it's embarrassing. Raven was affected by these layoffs. One of the Call of Duty sports studios.
We're on Call of Duty. We're gonna lay them off too. My God.
I mean, that's it though, right? It's like you're gonna do the same amount in terms of like Call of Duty. We're gonna do less of stuff like Perfect Dark and all these other investments. You're gonna do the same amount of Call of Duty, but with less. We're gonna save money that way, and we're gonna make more money because that's how we're gonna see the growth is. We're gonna use fewer people and then AI to make more Call of Duty, and that's the plan going forward. And it's just, I can't think of a more depressing end here for what Xbox has turned into.
Oh, I don't know, like just the phrase AI Call of Duty has triggered me in a horrifying way.
That's going to be the one where they really try to figure out how to make it work.
No, they're gonna hammer that home in like Call of Duty Mobile, and then carry that out onto consoles.
Oh yeah, yes, exactly. That's a good point. Longtime Rare employee Greg Miles, who's been there for around 35 years, is leaving the company. He, was a director on Banjo. He's a director on Sea of Thieves, and he's no longer there. Turn 10 is effectively done. Yeah. Everwild is canceled. Microsoft canceled a ZeniMax Online Destiny-like that Phil Spencer had to be pulled away from because he loved it so much. That doesn't matter.
Shut up.
Rumors that Phil Spencer is leaving. Xbox says no, he's not. I've heard that he will be, in not like imminently, but kind of like he's looking to get out of there. He's been grooming Sarah Bond for that job for years, so I think it's fair to say to like look at it and be like, that's what it looks like. Sounds like within the next year or two that probably will happen. People are rightfully laying blame at his feet, although Matt Booty. My understanding is a lot of this goes back to Matt Booty, just not really understanding how to lead a bunch of these studios and kind of letting them fend for themselves, and with the idea of go make what you want to make, and then when they come back having made what they want to made, being like, oh, this is not what we wanted you to make. Just sounds infuriating. Tons of other unannounced projects were canceled or affected in one way or another. I just heard people keep telling me contract studios, basically so many contract studios around the world have lost so much of the money that they had coming in because of this, because Microsoft has just kind of cut all of that work off. So it goes deeper than it even you can even tell by the first 9,100 people lost their jobs. It's probably going to be a lot more than that. For example, at John Romero's studio, Romero Games, I guess John and Brenda Romero's studio, they have had to furlough or lay off almost all of their staff. There is still some staff left, but they had a game they were making with Microsoft without 100 people were working on. Those 100 people no longer work there, at least for the moment, while John Romero and Brenda Romero are trying to talk to other publishers to get new funding. But it's like those people that lost their jobs would not be counted in that 9,100. So it's a much bigger cut than we're even seeing in the headlines. Question is, what the fuck happens with Xbox next? What do we care happens? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like such a big retreat from games, and they're still talking about that next Xbox and things like that. And it's just so hard to see the future, because how does that next Xbox do anything? Like, what is the pitch on that can possibly make it do better than an Xbox Series X? We know it's not going to have exclusives, right? They're clearly going that way. At certain points, like, just commit to being a third-party publisher now. So I can't imagine anybody cares about that console. Meanwhile, they just kind of have nothing to contribute to this industry except for their money. I think that's what you said, Jeff. And they're pulling back on that so they can invest in AI instead. There's a large number of people out there who play games who don't know that this is happening. And there's people who are going to be quick to forgive. I do think about Blizzard and how so many people were like, I'm done with Blizzard forever after all that stuff came out. And it's like, you give that a year and they make a good game and people are suddenly very quick to forgive. So I don't know. Maybe Xbox is still going to somehow bounce back from this or rediverts, but I kind of just I'm sort of over it right now. I don't even like thinking about them because they just spent all these years acquiring studios and spending all this money just to retreat on a dime, especially when it's for the nightmare that is AI.
Yep. Yeah. The AI train there is all just about, that is the next big buzzword for investors, and so they are willing to give you a lot of rope there. But I think they're at the end of the rope. That's why this is what's happening. Before it was like, we'll just continue to get fresh money from people who are very excited about this, or we can invest some of this other cash. But it's like now if you start taking cash from I don't know what is Microsoft Live 365, whatever the fuck they call it now, Microsoft Office. You take money from there. It's like, well, that's the enterprise stuff. We want that growing in its own way, and that should be growing because of AI. It's like, well, we don't really want to justify that. But if you want to start cutting from stuff that's not growing, we could still say that's okay. And that's we're in that phase. The next phase is, okay, AI's got to start making money. And I just don't think that is about to click into place. And so things could get a lot worse for a bunch of different aspects of all kinds of different industries. But the way it affects gaming could get a lot worse as these companies realize AI is not going to suddenly be printing money for them the way they thought it was.
Microsoft doesn't need Xbox. They if they have to, they will just cut it all. They absolutely will.
Yep.
And then it's going to leave a lot more people just kind of out in the dark there. It'll be kind of a horrifying, terrifying thing. There could be a world pretty easily where all their efforts really are just Call of Duty, King, maybe Blizzard, and just about everything else. I mean, we'll be in real rough shape. We're in rough shape right now, but I bet even they're like, okay, we gotta not close a Rare. We have to not close a Double Fine, one of these beloved studios, and then who knows how hot the heat's gonna get then. But I could see those days a coming.
You have to imagine that the second Call of Duty starts dipping in numbers or plateauing, which I think it has to some extent.
It's had ups and downs, yeah.
Right. there has to be someone in that exec board thinking like, well, I guess it's time to cut Call of Duty.
Yeah, I just think they'll they will cut everything else before they cut Call of Duty. But yeah, I mean, I think they will say time to spin off Xbox into its own thing, separate from Microsoft, and let it go fend for itself. And what does that look like? Who the hell knows?
That's gonna be weird. But like, are we gonna get? We did get this Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 thing, and that's Activision under Microsoft. That seemed like a miracle, and now I'm expecting even less of those kind of things to somehow happen here. People, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the other aspect of this is, hey, how's Game Pass fit into all this? And there's been a lot of talk back and forth. People like this is happening because of Game Pass, and I would say it is happening because Game Pass is not growing the way that they expected it to. So yeah, if you want to say it's because of Game Pass, that's completely fair. But then it's like, okay, the whole idea behind Game Pass was, well, you could get something like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. And maybe it doesn't do as well as 1+2 did, but it's another thing. And Game Pass keeps people subscribed, and that's great. And you want to every new subscriber that joins, because every new game continues to grow the service. It doesn't seem like they're telling that story to themselves anymore. So do we just get fewer of the stuff, like fewer things like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 or Hi-Fi Rush, something they already sort of abandoned? Yeah, it sounds like we just get fewer and fewer of these things. So, we're back kind of where we've been for a couple of years now with these major publishers, which is, if they have a big game you like, great. But if you are looking for anything else, like the next big idea, the next small idea, just a cool distraction, it's not happening from these big publishers. It is happening elsewhere.
It's so wild because, like, as a youth, I loved the Summer of Arcade on XBLA, and it just seemed like there were so many fresh ideas and like little indie games and just new cool things popping up every week. And I just haven't seen that level of creativity coming out of Xbox in a while.
All right. The Romero thing, there was a little bit of an update there. He did go out there and say that several publishers have said they're interested. One of the things he did point out, though, going back to Microsoft, was the day before the layoffs and the day before they were told that their funding was being cut off, they had a meeting with Microsoft where none of this was mentioned.
That's
Yeah, and it's like, oh boy, that's rough. Even if the people that had that meeting didn't know, it still implies that Microsoft was not going to give them a heads up at all and let them just run into this brick wall. Seems very unfair. We talked about the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 soundtrack. I don't have a list of what the 10 songs are, but like the one song that people are really complaining about is AC/DC's TNT. There's a few others, but I'm happy with the soundtrack overall.
I bet TNT is expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a tough one because it's like I think that was the theme song of 4, and they got Guerrilla Radio for 2. They got was Goldfinger for 1. I forget what the theme song if it had.
Superman.
Superman's
okay.
kind of
I feel like
one I
1 and 2.
associate with it. And 3 is Ace of Spades. So you got the other big song. So yeah, that's a little rough.
But yeah, I think they're at a point where it's like if this is the way it has to work with the soundtracks for Tony Hawk, I'm fine. I guess whatever they do next, I kind of hope they just do a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 and pretend the old one never happened and just make a new one with a new soundtrack, and that would be nice. Ghost of Yotei State of Play is set for July 10th. Publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment and developer Sucker Punch Productions will host the previously announced Ghost of Yotei Focus State of Play on July 10th. The broadcast will feature over 20 minutes of gameplay hosted by Sucker Punch Productions. Game's out October 2nd. You boys feeling pretty excited about Ghost of Yotei? I liked the first Ghost a bit, but I didn't fall in love with it the way a lot of people did.
It's weird. I played through that whole game and liked it. Yeah. There's not a lot of hype right now for me for the sequel. I don't know why.
I feel like I'm ready for it because I think I just played that first big island of Tsushima, and I just kind of fell off it. And so it's like, well, I've always kind of wanted to go back to it, but now might as well just, really commit to the new one.
There's just one island in that game.
I thought there was 3 or zones or something like that.
There's other. I thought there was another.
I like that multiplayer mode we checked out a couple months ago.
That was fun.
Oh right,
yeah.
Forgot about
that.
that.
Was neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm experiencing ninja fatigue.
Sure.
Are ninjas the new zombies?
Oh, wow.
Who would win a fight, ninjas or zombies, Dan?
Pirates.
Oh, dude.
Rafflecopter.
What if a crusader was in there too, though?
I can't have cheeseburger.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like
Mike say
I feel like
cheeseburger. Mike say cheeseburger.
cheeseburger. It used to be. I don't. It used to be kind of exciting when we got one of these sequels. Like they're going to improve so much, and now it seems like they often just kind of get bigger, but not necessarily better. Like Horizon Forbidden West, which I don't think is a bad game at all, but I do think it's just we're going to make Horizon Zero Dawn bigger. Yeah, it's definitely bigger. That Ninja Theory game Xbox just produced a
Heavenly
little bit
Sword.
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2.
Oh,
Is that really
God.
what it's called? I'm like, that's not it. It's not
Senua's
called Hellblade.
Saga.
Senua's Sacrifice, right? It's like, well, the games get bigger. Do they get better? Even going back to like a Last of Us Part 2, I'm like, that's a bigger game, I guess. I don't know if I like it any better. I just felt like the sequels used to always get better.
Speaking of Hellblade 2, the game that sounds a lot like it, Helldivers 2, is going to be going to Xbox with crossplay August 26th. It'll hit the Microsoft device. That game will do just fine on Xbox. Not every game would make a lot of sense to port to Xbox, like if you're PlayStation. But that one is like, we might as well. First of all, it's like from a studio that you don't necessarily own, even though it's a PlayStation game. They published it. Still, though. Yeah.
This might be a dumb question, but it's one that just popped into my brain. Why is it that like I feel like when you hear, oh, Indiana Jones is going to PlayStation, people like have lost their minds about that. But then like something like this, I feel like I haven't seen the same.
Oh, well, because I mean, I think if it was something other than like one of these marquee, like Hellblade 2 is a game that, or I'm sorry, Helldivers, I just did it. Helldivers 2 is a game that like the audience that plays that game, they want everyone playing because it's a like massively multiplayer meta game where the more people who are playing, the better. So when like PC and PlayStation were working together to take on all these different fronts on the war, they're like, hey, we're all in this together, and we want the developers to let more people in so we can do even better. So please bring it to Xbox. So this game's a little bit of an anomaly.
So that's different. So like I see Marino in the chat saying like, well, what if it was Spider-Man? Like
that they would piss their pants. They would lose. I don't know, because they're still doing list wars.
Like AAA blockbuster games, I guess, that are like the console mascot, right?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. So for them, it is. I spent $500 on this console to feel special, and these games make me feel special because only I can play them because I own the right console. That's what it is. It's very childish, and there's no other way to describe it. Who cares? And thankfully for Helldivers 2, the audience is like, no, we don't care. This is actually kind of awesome.
That makes sense, being an anomaly.
They've already done the thing where it's like, okay, great, we won this one. Now bring it to Switch 2. So they're starting that campaign. We'll see if that happens.
I would definitely get back into Hellblade. Or not, God damn it.
Yep, there it is.
I would definitely get into
Helldivers. I would do that again.
Sure.
Yes.
That's fun.
You know what's good for that is Instagram reels of Helldivers 2 shit is so hype. It's so good. Like just look up a couple of those things. There's like that game's so cinematic, like when it's really going and like everything's happening, all the you're calling in all those things from the sky, and all the enemy ships are flying in, and you're using rocket launchers to take them down. Yeah, we should play some more of that. That's a good game.
What game I think we should circle back to, a little older, but any of the Risk of Rain games, I think.
I would do that.
Yeah,
you know that we do that old and new one because that's a 2D and a 3D game. So it's like we kind of play both. But I want to play more of that second one because it's a 3D one. I didn't play a ton of it. All right, fans think Nintendo accidentally revealed Switch Online's next wave of N64 games. Basically, back in May, there was a something showing off N64 NSO features,
the CRT
shaders, and so when you go to the options menu, it puts a like fogged glass filter over your game selection, so you can focus on the options. But you can still kinda barely see smudges of colors and shapes through that fogged, glass effect. And so people started being like looking at these things and being like, wait, what box art is that? And they started comparing and contrasting. And they're like, they got to a point where like, well, that can literally only be Glover. No other N64 cover looks like that's gotta be Glover.
I watched that video where he was like going into Photoshop and putting like a mask over it and being like turning it on and off, and it's like, oh, that does look like yeah.
So there's 4 games kind of for sure that have been confirmed that are in this video. Are they confirmed like definitely going to come to N64 NSO? It's a possibility that they were just testing these games and that none of them will come, but I'm hopeful. So those games are Donkey Kong 64, Forsaken 64, Glover, and Super Smash Brothers. And someone thinks one of the 5th one might be Scars, which is a anthropomorphic or anthrocarmorphic racing game. It's actually pretty good. Scars.
I
Scar?
don't think I ever actually played that. Yeah, it's an acronym.
Yeah, it's a super car anomaly
Assault
racing.
squad
Yeah,
or
assault.
something. Yeah.
Well, here's my one thing with this and why I'm skeptical. Because Forsaken 64 is an M-rated game. So that would be on the separate N64
yeah, with Turok
M-rated
and-
app.
Yeah.
So it would not be in
maybe
this
they were testing it.
background.
It's
Maybe
only
they're-
a sexy
yeah, you're right.
cover
Maybe
art,
they're
too.
just testing it for sure. I mean, it's weird we don't have Donkey Kong 64 already. I was kind of hoping they would do that in the lead up to Bonanza, so I could, play that before Bonanza came out. At this point, like,
What was
I
the
don't know
last
what they
N64
waited for.
game to join? Can
Boy,
anyone remember?
I don't remember.
Wasn't some more rare stuff? Jet Force Gemini was not too long ago, right?
It was
Mike,
that
you
was not-
saying you were hoping it would happen. I have a feeling when you do your 101% run of DK64, you're
You'll
you're gonna
change
be
your
taking that
story.
back.
I got shoot hardware for that. We got a
wow.
cartridge for that.
Banana yellow.
baby. Banana yellow.
I know we keep teasing that, but I really desperately want to see Mike 101%
What?
Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna have like a little bit of a fundraiser because that was the whole thing, right? We get
Yeah,
new
I
sign
I want to set a big goal for him to do that, and oh man, that's what I want the most on this site right now.
Okay, all right, we'll commit to that. Either way, I hope all of these games come. Forsaken would be neat to see. Glover's
Yeah.
weird and
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It's wild that Smash Brothers isn't yet, and also like Melee, like those have got to be.
Not
coming,
Melee.
right?
It's
Yeah,
not
well, yeah,
weird
yeah.
because Nintendo. Well, it's not weird because Nintendo's weird.
Sure.
So they kind of do a similar thing with Pokemon, although that's a different situation. But like they want you to get the new ones, and they want you to focus on that, and they are holding back Smash Brothers because of that. I think.
So
Sure.
the latest N64 game was Killer Instinct Gold, which seems like over a month ago or something like that, maybe
Okay.
around then.
So we could be due for one any moment.
Yeah, Glover was like actually just re-released on everything not too long ago. I think.
Yeah,
I think
and
on
we played
Switch.
it, and it's not great.
Right now, so was Turok was also just available in a enhanced edition on Switch, but they still added that to NSO, so that doesn't mean anything.
Apparently, Forsaken got re-rated to teen.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
several people have said. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they made it woke.
No, Sean, they made Forsaken woke. That would be the dumbest controversy. An industry full of dumb controversies.
What?
Well, we're getting super chats for DK64 is 101%. Zachy Zach says he'll donate $1 for every percent. Oh, Mikey, DK64 is our cash cow.
Okay,
There it
I see
is.
it.
I gotta pay rent, Mike. You
Yeah.
gotta do it,
Mike,
now.
you got to put food on our families, brother.
Food on your
right.
families, like those sushi girls. Okay.
The EU, there's an EU lobby group that says forcing developers to support online games would make them too expensive. This is part of a backlash from the industry towards the Stop Killing Games initiative, which has reached its threshold of 1 million signatures in Europe to force the EU to consider this legislation or to consider some sort of regulation, basically to think about the issue. And developers and publishers are kind of freaking out about this and say, well, no, this would be terrible because then we won't be able to make live service games. And then everyone who signed is like, yeah, like stop trying to. I already signed. You don't have to convince me anymore. Yeah, of course they don't want to spend any more money. I'm very skeptical that creating a little bit of support so that private servers are enabled or to make your single player campaign that has to check a server, update it so it doesn't have to check a server. I don't think that's all that prohibitively expensive. I think they just don't want to be on the hook for anything ever, and that's all that's really happening here. But it might be too late for these big companies to stop this getting considered. So we'll kind of see what happens next. They might be moving on to directly lobbying the politicians to complain to them.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, put pressure on them. Make them have to figure this out. And if that makes them second thinking, making as much live service slop as they do, oh no.
Exactly, and it's it's their money. I don't care. You could figure it out. Like if this becomes the rule, then you got to live by the rule. And to me, that's a win. I want to see these games be able to live on. If I paid $40 for it and I have a disc and I want to put it into a system, I kind of expect something to work. All right, last couple of stories here. Mind's Eye boss claims internal and external saboteurs are to blame for the studio's woes. A thing that you should just definitely say if you're Leslie Benzies, the head of Build a Rocket Boy. I'm a truther on this. This is definitely what happened, guys.
This is the
Yeah.
one you believe.
It's definitely the one I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You implement the Seb Getty code.
I'll get in there.
What?
go
God,
ahead,
what a
Mike.
loser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loser behavior.
Yep.
God.
Mine's eye.
Saboteurs.
Yeah, right.
Shut
like,
up.
and it's what they do. They make the guy go spaghetti fight because that's the only thing we
Yeah.
like about
Well,
your
they-
game.
They
Mean
influenced.
tweets did that. Yeah.
They influenced every reviewer because the game has like a 34 open critics. So it was the saboteurs. No one just decided they disliked the game. Like you can't fool us. We see the game. It's there.
It sucks.
Yeah, I think that Build a Rocket Boy and Mind's Eye are just not long for this world. Kind of feels like one of those situations where they got a lot of money to start the studio. Probably Leslie Benzies paid himself a hefty bonus, and he'll just go take that money and move on to the next thing. I guess
Great.
good for you, bud. Prolific Port Studio says any 60 frames per second Xbox Series S game will easily port to Nintendo Switch 2. This is Virtuos, a developer over there, said that the CPU is pretty close to a PS4, but the GPU is right behind an Xbox Series S, and then it has extra features that basically make it almost equivalent to an Xbox Series
Nuts
S.
and bolts. Nuts
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bolts.
Man, actually, I would love that.
That would be
Band.
fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, this is just continues to be good to hear. We're a month in to having the Switch 2, and I kind of think it's everything I was hoping it would be. I'm very happy with it. How about you all?
I think come next week with Bonanza, I'm going to feel real happy about it. I mean, it was pretty much just like Welcome Tour and Mario Kart that I've been playing since it launched. So like playing Tony Hawk on it has been nice.
Yeah.
But I think Bonanza is the big one where I'm going to be like, all right, hell yeah, we're here.
But I think that's a good sign that we're just like worried about the games. The system itself
Yep.
has been very solid.
Yep, totally.
Bonanza, I'm eagerly waiting for. Final Fantasy Tactics, eagerly waiting for. It's been fine.
Yep.
Like I don't think it's been a major letdown as some people are claiming it is.
Oh, no way. It's
Yeah.
been fine.
Also, just love the magnets on that bad boy.
Yeah.
Fun.
I'll just sit there disconnecting and reconnecting all day.
And then last story here was added, looks like in a panicked scrawl. Where is Final Fantasy IX Remake?
Where
Yeah,
is
sorry.
it?
I've just been thinking about it a lot, and I just want to make sure we're talking about it.
Where was it? Yesterday was the 25th anniversary.
Isn't VV problematic? They probably just don't want to like update that. They're like,
He's the least problematic. He is such a good boy. They're the only. No problems with VV. VV has never caused anybody any problems aside from emotional distress because we love him so much.
Do you remember when I had Mike thinking that Weird Al got canceled?
Yeah,
It
just
just broke his heart.
I was like, oh, Weird Al.
he was playing up in Traverse City while I was there, and we couldn't get tickets. They were sold out. That guy's doing all right.
It's just like they've been releasing all this new concept art. They have this page. They're talking about Final Fantasy IX constantly to a point where like they're building up to something. And it was in that NVIDIA leak and every other Square Enix thing in that NVIDIA leak. The Final Fantasy Tactics remake, freaking Kingdom Hearts 4 was in there before it got announced. It all happened. So how can this not be the one thing? But now I'm scared because Nate the Hate is saying, oh, they were working on that, but it didn't work out, and maybe that's not happening anymore. So now I'm scared. Jeff, help me.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's weird because like there's like designer glasses and stuff like that are Final Fantasy IX tie-ins, and to me, it's like that is such a level beyond. It's the 25th anniversary.
Right.
Yeah.
That I'm like, clearly something was supposed to happen here. Is it still happening? Yeah, I don't know. But like, my thing here is okay. The 25th anniversary did just pass for Japan yesterday. Now, this entire year, they could be like, this is the 25th anniversary.
Sure.
So they could still put it out at any time. But if you're making a big deal about the anniversary now with all this stuff, wouldn't you want to say then, and here's where you should go if you want to play the game in a modern way, even if it's just pointing to one of those old ports you did, which was still available on every platform in one way or another.
I mean, the website does mention those ports because they're on sale or something, but like it's not making a big deal about it. And those ports were it's only okay. It has some kind of it has like the weird up-resing of the character models, but the backgrounds are still super blurry because they're pre-rendered. So it's not really a great way to play those games. So I mean, a couple years ago when it was Final Fantasy VIII's 25th anniversary, I don't recall them doing anything near this level of
No
stuff
way.
for that.
No, they
So,
didn't.
It's like something is going on or was supposed to go on. And part of me is like, if you don't actually have the game, maybe keep some of the stuff to yourself because I am getting my hopes up here.
It's weird. I don't know. I mean, there's people like one of these leakers was like, "Hey, this week." That's all they said, and people are like, "That means a Nintendo Direct." The guy's teasing a Nintendo Direct. I don't know if a Nintendo Direct is happening anytime soon, but I could see something like a Final Fantasy IX remake being saved for a big event like that. So maybe something in like September, and they announce it for the holiday or something, or early next year.
Here's my real big worry. Here's my nightmare scenario: that they were making a remake, and it was using a lot of AI, and they realized that it looks like shit, and that's why it's not happening more. That's my nightmare, Jeff. Square Enix would do it. They would fucking do it, and they would do it.
Yes.
I feel like Square is too behind. That's going to happen in 2 years.
Right. They're still on NFTs at Square Enix.
They kind of were. They kind of. Well, maybe that's the other thing too. It was a big NFT game. I don't know. I like Final Fantasy IX, and I want to play it again. I want more people to play it because it's a good game.
I think the one concerning thing here is that, other than your nightmare scenario there, Mike, is that all of those games that were in the NVIDIA leak happened before that, like, recent, I don't know if it was a reorganization, but it was like a recalibration over at Square Enix where they're like, we released too many games and a lot of them didn't do very well. We're going to release fewer. And maybe that meant, and I think they said, like, don't worry about Final Fantasy, but that might mean don't worry about Final Fantasy going forward. Maybe Final Fantasy IX is one of those games that kind of got caught up in that. And they're like, this is just like, Dale Field Chronicles that we did. Well, let's cut this off. It's like Crisis Core. We want to do fewer of those.
But like Tactics made it through, right? So it's like
maybe one did and the other one didn't. Yeah.
Mikey, here's if you want to put your conspiracy theory hat back.
It's a Mega Man game.
Fuck.
What if they were trying to make it into an action adventure game and they realized, shit, people like turn-based.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, like, this is the one where you do a pretty faithful remake and you keep the ATB combat system.
Yeah.
But here, optimistically, I'm hoping that they just wanted to space it out a bit more from the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster announcement, and that's all this is. And we're still going to hear about this soon. But I don't know. I'm worried. I'm getting worried.
I don't blame you. Last news story here. Amazon has just emailed me and given me a delivery estimate update for my 8BitDo 64 Bluetooth controller, which is 8BitDo's N64 controller that they're kind of shipping alongside the Analog 3D. And it's now scheduled to arrive on July 31st. It was supposed to be here in Q1.
Yeah, I was thinking like March or something. I have not gotten an email about mine yet. Damn.
Yeah. So a delivery estimate update, July 31st, that Thursday. One of these things like shipped early. I think someone got one and was like, so it's like leaked and some people are talking about it. I love this thing because it's got 6 face buttons. It's the A and the B and then the C buttons, but I like 6 face buttons in any configuration.
You're a Saturn truther, yeah.
Saturn, honestly, yes. I'm like, I want to just get a Saturn controller and use that as a USB pad going forward.
Mine does. Yeah, I just checked my Amazon account. It is arriving July 31st.
Okay, so there's a little bit of light there for 8BitDo, who definitely was like having other issues, and then all the tariff stuff happened on top of that. So they pushed the Analog 3D like way back. That was supposed to be here in Q1. So maybe some of that stuff's starting to shake loose. I guess the other side of that is Trump started talking about tariffs on Japan and Taiwan and Korea again. So, hey, fantastic. That 90-day pause really did let up, and he's going right back at it. So we're not out of the woods for those things. I guess the one good thing there is I got my Switch 2 now, so I'm a little bit less concerned than I was a few months ago. You got 2 of them. That's right. All right, Jan, that does it for the headlines. I'm handing the show back off to you.
Fantastic. We're going to go read some emails and some super chats right after this Ricky break. This is Oprah's favorite gaming podcast. Emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address. Send your emails to. Write in about any and everything. You got a fun quiz. You got some random cues. You want to avoid an awkward social interaction. Or one of us said something that pissed you off. Write in. I don't read any corrections because the four of us, including the whole five of us, the royal five of us, have never made a mistake on the internet ever.
No.
Bombcast, giantbomb.com is the email address. Special shout out that I should have done at the top of the show, though. Shouts out to Marino for compiling the top 100 games of the quarter century.
Yes.
Very cool list. Mike, what were your top 10? Did you get to vote in that?
I didn't get to vote, and it upset me.
Oh,
So you guys know, poor Dan and Jane had to hear it. I was like having some kind of weird panic attack about it for some reason. Like, I can't believe I missed that. How did I miss it? Jeff told
You
me
have a
I
lot
had
of
to
big problems. Yeah,
Nah,
Well, it is a day for Mikey's.
that's true.
it's
I
always
just
a day for Mikey's.
I love how earnest it is, Mike, when he's like, my nightmare scenario, the worst thing is it Final Fantasy. It was like, it's just like you always
With
have
the,
genuine breakdowns. I didn't get to vote in the top 10. This is the worst thing that could ever happen
I love
to me.
this. I love voting for stupid things like video games. I think my opinions on this stuff is good. I'll tell you what, in my mind, too, it's like, you know what's going to happen? Somehow Half-Life 2 is not going to make it because all these fucking Zoomers don't respect it. It's not going to make the top 10. Then I looked at the list, and it made it right at number 10. I was like, okay, now Mario Odyssey wasn't in the top 10, and that's a little off-putting.
Yeah, the
but
primary
you get-
demo for giantbomb.com, the Zoomers.
The Zoomers, we're always worried about them.
It's my number 3 is Mario Odyssey.
It would have been I think it was my number 1 when I kind of did it myself. Of the century, yeah, it's number 1.
I realized I didn't have a particular order of mine, but people construed it in some sort of way. But speaking of the top 100 list, Chris from London writes in, "Hey duders, I shared the Giant Bomb top 100 list with a normie gamer friend who was shocked at the games on there. He couldn't believe Skyrim and Last of Us were so low, and how many games of the last 5 years were in the top 10. Mostly, I suspect, because he's not played any of them. This led me to think, if it were possible to survey every person that plays games, what do you think would be at the top of this hypothetical list? Fortnite, Minecraft, GTA 5? Or would it be something even more casual like Wordle or Candy Crush? Thanks to GB and the community. Keep going. Keep the good times rolling. Chris from London."
I think a Candy Crush or like a Words with Friends or something would have a real chance.
I think Words with Friends is past its prime there.
My
But
dad has played like literally 40,000 games and plays it every day for hours.
Would he put it as his number 1 video game?
He'd put it high up, I think.
Yeah, I think what would happen is, and like if you told people like, no, you have to like vote like by what you've played the most, maybe. But I don't think anyone feels special putting Fortnite as their number 1.
yeah,
I'm a defender. Fortnite is a really
That's
good
not what I'm
game.
saying.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying at all. Fortnite's a great game. I don't think a lot of people put it as their number 1 game because they're like, it's so popular. I don't feel cool when I make my top 10
Sure.
list, putting it as my number 1. So I don't know. Like the list would change a lot if we had a vast number of people voting, especially from a wider community of the kinds of people playing games. But I don't think that suddenly means the New York Times crossword puzzle app becomes number 1 though. Because I think people are like, no, I want to I'll do The Last of Us as well, that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't think it changes dramatically.
Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go,
I
right?
could
yes.
see that. Yes. Is
Yes.
is Clash of Clans huge or do they just advertise everywhere?
It was huge at the.
it's
was.
not a Rain Shadow Legend situation. That Clash of Clans
Okay.
actually was
People
popular.
actually play that, though? I thought that was just an ad.
Clash
That's
of
what I'm saying.
Clans or
It's
Raid
not.
Shadow
It's
Legends?
not Shadow Legend. That's one that
Wait.
I think is just like brute forcing its way into
Right.
making any
It
kind
ain't
of a
working.
profit. But yeah, I don't. You're right, because yeah, a lot of people play Fortnite or Candy Crush, but even amongst those people, I bet they've played like one other game where they're like, well, that's my favorite game. I bet,
Right, they would put Tetris or something. Yeah.
I bet even Last of Us would be like much higher than it
Yeah.
was, right? I think a lot
Yeah.
of lot more people would vote for something like
Definitely.
that. For
Was NBA Street Volume 2 on there? Because it
I-
should be.
Certainly not.
Jeez. that's
in like the
better.
top 10, I was in my top 10.
Top,
I don't think
it
it's
wasn't
in
in my top 10, but it should be on our top 100.
I don't think it made the top 100.
Damn it.
Because even like us, I think there's a lot of people that that's their like 25th favorite game of the
Sure,
century,
sure.
right?
Whatever it is on mine.
I feel like Halo games would be pretty well represented. I mean, they are in our list. There's like several Halo games.
what you guys? There was some recency bias stuff for sure, but also like Claire Obscure did very well there. But I feel like in another 10 years that game will still be on.
It'll be in that range. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like number
I think there
17
was
or
some
something.
recency bias stuff there with that. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome, but like that was high up.
It wasn't in the top 10. It was in the top. It was like top 20, right?
It was like 17 or something like
Right.
that.
So
Yeah.
that's like I could see it dropping down to like 25. I don't think it's
Sure,
going to drop that hard.
I think a game that probably if we surveyed like wider audience, maybe you think like League of Legends would be
Yeah,
on there.
Again, I think that's like I think that's one that people are like. Yes, I've played a lot of it, and it's all in my top 10, but it's low on my top 10. I think they're like want to acknowledge it, but I don't think anyone's gonna be like. I don't know. I shouldn't say anyone. I don't think enough people would put it as their number one to affect things too much.
Do you think it's a travesty no one put Subway Surfers?
Yes.
Where's Fruit Ninja?
Yeah. Well, they probably
Doodle
put.
jump.
Damn it! What's the game that I said was like Subway Surfers?
Oh,
1000 X
Oh,
Resist.
Thousand X Resist.
Yeah, 1000 X Resist is probably in there, so there's plenty of representation.
Did any like late N64 PlayStation games make it? Because like I just
There
have
was
a hard
a
time.
couple. I think there
Yeah.
was one for each PlayStation and N64. I
is
think it was
Conquer on there?
Majora's Mask and God, I can't remember what the PS1
Ooh.
game was.
1,000 Times Resist is not on the list.
Yeah,
Was,
all right.
did Final Fantasy 9? Let me see. Final Fantasy 9.
10 is on there.
Final Fantasy
Majora's-
9 made it. So
Yeah,
that
it's
was
Majora's Mask and
17.
Final Fantasy 9, and those are the only PlayStation and N64 games, respectively.
Ooh,
perfect
Katamari
job.
Damacy made it on.
Hell yeah.
Good.
It's a good game.
Deserves
I
it.
always thought so.
Metal Gear 3 got screwed because Subsistence and Snake Eater were tallied as separate things.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
we have a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
Justice for Metal Gear.
For folks that haven't seen the list, we're not going to go through the all 100, but let's just go through the top 10 real quick.
And people are like pretty hot about this list too. There was like 500 responses or something like that in
Oh,
the Reddit
yeah.
thread about it. So yeah,
Jesus.
go ahead, Jan.
Number 10, Half-Life 2.
Yep.
9, Dark Souls.
Yep.
Number 8, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt.
That I like that game. I was so surprised it did that well. I feel like amongst the Giant Bomb crew, I never hear you all talk about Witcher 3 very much. I think Jeff straight up doesn't like it.
I do not enjoy playing Witcher 3.
I liked it for a while, and then it just fell off pretty hard.
I've always been Witcher curious.
It's just not a fun game to play.
Yeah. I don't want to apply oil to my sword every time I use it.
Number 7, Bloodborne. Yeah, totally.
No, I'm not gonna start spouting Bloodborne hot takes now that I'm playing all these games because I've already tried to once and people got mad at me. And
Oh, what is it?
Oh,
Give us a
oh.
tease.
I think I like Bloodborne. I think it's not like in my top 3 FromSoft games. I don't know if it's in my top 5 FromSoft games.
Wow.
I might need to play it
Cool.
again. But like I think Sekiro would be a better top 10 thing here than Bloodborne.
Sure. Number 6, I don't think any of us really click with it. Baldur's Gate
Oh.
3.
Wrong. I loved it. I think
Oh,
None of us like
Oh,
it.
right. You fixed Shadowheart.
Fix Shadowheart. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is great. Is it a little high? Maybe. I don't think crazy though. I think it's an important game too. I think this game's success is going to influence the industry and the kind of games we get for a long time.
Number 5 was Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Both, yeah, I mean, not for spoilers ahead, but part of me is like, oh, would Tears of the Kingdom kind of pay because Breath of the Wild is Breath of the Wild, but nope, Tears of the Kingdom still did very well.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I listed Tears of the Kingdom instead of Breath of the Wild.
I put Breath as my number 1.
Yeah, Breath was my number 1 as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I had Tears in my top 10.
Number 4, Mass Effect 2.
I mean, this was a very popular game, and I do like it. There's a part of me it's like, oh, maybe the popularity for this one has fallen off a little bit, but no, number 4.
Nah, this is like for the person that likes that kind of game. Mass Effect 2 is the one that always comes up. So yeah,
I fucking love Mass Effect 2.
No, it's a good game. It is for sure. I guess there was just a part of me that's like, that's fallen off a little bit, right? Nope. People, so which again, it makes it like crazy that they haven't been able to capitalize on this, and
Totally.
who knows what that new Mass Effect is gonna look like after the new Dragon Age kind of sort of came and went. I don't know.
people wonder what we're talking about in chat. Like this is the Giant Bomb Games of the Century list. We put out a public vote. Everyone's been voting on it. Jan's going through the list right now.
Number 3 is Outer Wilds.
Hell yes.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
cool.
that.
That's really
I should,
Where is that on my list? It's probably not high enough.
I should play this game, huh?
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
god, it's
Mike.
fucking incredible.
You know what I want to do? I want to
play
get
this
a
on
cheap.
Mist with Mitch.
Yeah.
I want to do a special Mega Man where we go outside and play it on a TV, like in a backyard with like a campfire,
fun.
and like play all night long or something like that, like a camp out stream.
Now, you know what's interesting about this? So, like, Baldur's Gate 3, 96 Metacritic. Tears of the Kingdom, 96 Metacritic. Mass Effect 2, 96 Metacritic. Outer Wilds, 85 Metacritic.
People didn't get it.
Yeah, honestly, there's a little bit of people not quite jiving with it. Yeah,
Interesting. That
But it's
kind of
like-
makes it more interesting, right?
yes, it's more interesting for sure.
Number 2, Elden Ring.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Sure.
Now, is there a part of you guys that's like, oh, wow, 3 FromSoft games in the top 10? Or is that just kind of indicative of, the
mean-
century that they've had?
I have 3 Metal Gears in my top 10, so I
Wow.
can't really complain.
You're wild.
Number 1, Mikey was alluding to it earlier. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Breath of
Yeah,
the Wild. so
it might
freaking
be the
good.
best game of all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
got
I
it.
just, number 11 was Mario Odyssey. I just want that in the top 10. That one
Mm.
hurts me.
I think I would have pushed out a Dark Souls for an Odyssey for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would push down a Bloodborne for, yeah. Now, okay, because like you all are largely anti Red Dead Redemption 2. I know, Dan, you came around on it a little bit.
I don't love it, but I also don't have this hatred for it,
It was 14 on this.
Wow.
14. So
There's a couple games that I'm really glad that the Giant Bomb audience shouted out and like voted. Like Celeste is number 48 on this.
Yeah.
Celeste
I mean,
rules.
Celeste is perfect. Gotta
Hades
And
play
they,
is
Celeste.
they fucked
13.
up and put Disco Elysium at 12.
I'm looking at like that's awesome to see. Hades at 13.
I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
hell
let's
yeah,
go.
Hades at 13.
Okay, wait a second. So we have original Resident Evil 4 at 16. Where's the remake?
And no Returnal on the list at all, Dan, which is probably right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, eat shit. Oh, the remake for Resident Evil 4.
Returnal's incredible.
That is mostly just. Well, I thought it was supposed to be a Jeff, but it's not on this list, so maybe we're right. I don't know. I don't know.
Rez isn't on there either.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
shit,
good.
Rez.
That's good.
Well,
Yeah.
Rez, I think Rez might have come out like 99. Actually,
Oh,
Rez video
that,
game.
That would have been like, yeah, right there.
2001. Eat shit, Rez.
Go fuck yourself, Rez.
Go fuck yourself.
Wait a minute, guys. There's no SOCOM on this list. What the hell?
No.
What about Mag?
Yeah,
No,
Mag's like
Yeah.
in 5 spots. It's crazy.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
what happened there.
I
Yeah.
am curious about like games I think would have done much better if this list was 10 years earlier. Like BioShock was 43. I think 10 years ago, BioShock might have been in the top 10.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Like No Infinite, which is, correct.
It's
Right.
cool that Rock Band made it onto the top 100 also.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize how, I don't know, influential and integral
Yeah.
to some people's lives Rock Band is.
Mhm.
I know we're kind of going through the list and kind of mentioned. Have we talked about like the placements of Last of Us and God of War? Like how do you guys feel about those? I thought they would both be higher.
I guess
God of War's 47.
God of War is 47.
2018?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2018 God of War.
Man,
I
I,
think
would put God of War 2, like the 07
Yeah, me
one or
too.
whatever.
No,
That's the best
me
one in
too.
the
I feel the
series.
same way. Yes, the original
Yeah.
games I enjoy much more.
Same.
Yeah, I think I think those games when they came out, there were a lot of people this is one of the best games ever. And I think that has cooled off a little bit where everyone still
It
likes
has.
those games and respect
Clearly.
them. I think there's a little Last of Us fatigue even amongst a
Yes.
lot of people. For a lot of people, there isn't. A lot of people that still is just the best game ever. But for a good amount of people, there is a bit of Last of Us fatigue, and I do not blame them for it.
Balatro at 40 is awesome.
That's
That
sick.
is-
Electro,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
At 40
Shadow
is
of
good.
Colossus at 44 is also sick as hell.
yeah.
I mean, Shadow Colossus is just such a
You-
unique. Like, nothing else is like it, and so to this day, it's like you can go look back. And we're talking about all these games where like they've risen in stature, they've lowered in stature. Shadow Colossus has just always just been that guy, and I always think of so fondly of that game.
Hell yeah! Just Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers, the expansion at 50. There's something like Titanfall 2 at 59. Like I thought, maybe especially with our audience, that might do a smidge better, but obviously still good.
Marino says that if they would have combined Rock Band 1, 2, and 3, it would have been like around 30th place.
Oh,
Wow, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I guess like some games where they have a lot of similar sequels are going to struggle like that. Arkham
Yep.
City was 98. I guess I might have thought that would do better. Was
I would
Arkham
have thought,
Asylum?
where's Asylum? I
Asylum
like
was
Asylum better.
69. Nice.
Okay.
So Asylum
Nice.
did.
Asylum's
again, that's a
higher than
thing.
City. Really?
I think 10 years ago would have been the other way,
like
but I think
Asylum better. Yeah,
Asylum
I like
has
Asylum
been-
better too, but I'm always
Yeah.
operating on the assumption that like, man, people talk about City a lot. Not
City's very
Asylum.
good, but Asylum was just so much more kind
It's
of
a pure
focused
Metroidvania.
and- yeah,
It's
yeah.
so goddamn good.
I like the setting a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think it swapped a little bit recently. I'd be happy to. I think. I think Arkham City turned 10 just recently, which is wild, by the way, because to me that's still a
Whoa.
new game.
That
That,
is-
game
yep,
is
yep.
10 years old. Oh no. Uncharted 2 only at 88. That's another one where I feel like people are
Wow.
kind of falling off on that, because to me that was like such a amazing game and
Yeah.
so important.
It was.
And now, like only 88.
Is there something about that where it's like these games that in that moment were like, this is it. This is where games reached a certain thing. That maybe that just doesn't have staying power. That
I feel like
concept.
the late aughts, early 2010s maybe don't have. We're not in that nostalgia sweet spot for those yet.
And maybe
you
that's
know?
a big part of it too. Yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe
yeah.
yeah. I think the Uncharted nostalgia is still coming. Gosh, Diablo 2 is a pretty early one here, and that's at 80, because that was right at 2000. Right
Ooh.
above that, a newer game, Return of the Obra Dinn at 79. I'm sorry, I'm just like I find this list fascinating. That's why I wanted to vote.
Yeah.
Persona 5 also got hurt a little bit because it's not at 90, but then Persona 5 Royale
Yeah.
is it's just Royale. I keep saying it, calling it Royale. That one is
I-
a good deal higher.
I'm a bit surprised that Persona 4 Golden is at 49. I would have assumed this audience would have skewed higher.
I think 5 is more popular these days than even Golden, but we'll see when
Yeah.
that remake happens.
I-
What goes on there?
One of my surprises, though, it's funny because they come at 92 and 93, and we'll move on with the email segment, folks. 92 being Tetris Effect, and 93 being Journey.
Hmm.
Journey was cool. Yeah,
Journey's awesome.
I like both
love
these
Journey.
games.
I guess I
like both
just
these
didn't think
games.
Journey had that like we were talking about staying power in people's
Yeah.
minds.
Oh no,
did we-
Journey sticks. It's such a unique experience that really nothing else is like. Like, yeah, Journey would
It's,
probably be higher on mine. For sure.
influential too, where it's like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of its online multiplayer ideas have now just you find them in Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Death Stranding. Yeah.
All right.
Kingdom Hearts 2 at 55. Let's go.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, moving on.
real quick, just no, like, not a lot of PC representation. Civilization games aren't really on the list. Things like that. I think that's maybe our audience a
Yeah.
little bit.
There's
No
I mean,
co-op.
World of Warcraft did really well. You got stuff that's sort of PC first, like Return of the Obra Dinn, still doing pretty good.
Sure, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, that
I know
feels
what you
like
mean,
there's
though.
some other stuff missing. Yep. All right, go ahead, Jan.
All right, Max from South Bend writes in, "Hi Bombcast. I was listening to the Bombcast and the next thing to play was an episode of a role-playing podcast that got me thinking about what each of your potential D&D classes would be. For Grub, he would be a divination wizard with the ability to see into the future. For Minotti, there is one and only choice, a bard. He could sing Disney songs to inspire and heal his allies and use his Disney trivia to distract his foes. For Bacalar, I thought a battle master fighter with his hockey pads as armor and his ability to control and get his allies into advantageous spots. For Jan, I thought an artificer. I almost read that artificer with his skills in getting equipment to work. And finally, for Dan, I believe a warlock would work for him. His patron could be the otherworldly creature named Kojima, and he would stun his enemies with his various outrageous stories that have occurred in his life. It's not perfect, but I thought you'd like it. Thanks for all the laughs. Max from South Bend. Okay, moving on.
I like making characters in D&D almost more than I like playing D&D. Got to be honest. So that was fun.
Max actually has another email. Hey, Bombcast. After finally defeating the optional boss in the Abyss in Clair Obscure Expedition 33, I found it to be one of my favorite boss fights in a long time. Besides Souls games, what other games do you guys think have epic boss fights? Max from South Bend.
I mean, a go-to is Zelda.
Sometimes they're a little easy though.
But I mean, still just the design. Like I find them very, very memorable. I can
Right.
think like every
Figuring out
Link
the
to the Past
puzzles.
boss, the
Yeah.
Witches and Ocarina. It's just like the
Yeah.
Twilight Princess big bone skeleton. Like there's just so many
Well,
very
I mean, even the
memorable ones.
2D ones, like I remember in Link's Awakening, the genie in the bottle and figuring out, oh, I'm supposed to use the weapon I just got. Like that's where, as a kid, this is where I learned this idea. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to use the bracelet to pick up the guy and throw him against the wall. I'm like, I never considered that I'm supposed to just hit him with my weapon. And I don't know, there's something pure about that.
Yeah. For
Oh, Metal
sure.
Gear.
I like that one. I like the two bosses in Link Between Worlds. You have to like hide in the shield for a little bit. That stuff.
Oh
rules.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
great.
Shadow of the Colossus. That's all
That's
boss
all.
fights.
I mean,
course.
But yeah.
Punch Out. You know.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it kind of inspired by the Souls games, but Hollow Knight has very good boss fights.
Yeah, it
There's
does.
some big ones there. The
Castlevania
final
has good
one,
ones.
Castlevania, Ori and
Will of the Wisps.
That second one.
The final boss fight there against Shriek was very good. Had incredible music. I listened to that track all the time.
Metroid. I remember on fucking
Oh.
Super Metroid,
Yeah.
Kraid, take like any fucking boss
Yeah.
where it takes up most of or more than a screen. The dinosaurs and Joe and Mac, Kraid, and Super Metroid. I love that
Super
shit.
Metroid's great because I mean, like the fight against Ridley's harder, but then that Mother Brain fight is kind of like cinematic and just cool. And then there's like the baby Metroid comes in, but then Metroid Dread, that final fight against Razorbeak or whatever, was
Awesome.
That was
awesome.
fantastic.
Yes, all the
yes.
parrying and all
Such a
that.
good final fight.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
YouTube chat with a good one. Yoshi's Island. I really
really.
love that thing where it's like, oh, we're gonna bring in just like a little jabroni enemy, and then he gets sprinkled with Kamek dust, and all of a sudden, oh fuck, just mode
Yeah.
7 warping, and then that last one, I thought that looked so cool on Super Nintendo, where it's like, oh my god, I'm throwing this into the background
Yep.
for this big ass baby Bowser. Like, yeah,
Well, it's just so
awesome.
cool, like, because all of a sudden, like, there's a different sprite for Yoshi because he's like looking off in the
Yeah.
distance. Like,
Yeah.
no, that might be
Or the
best
crow,
Bowser
there's that
fight.
like Mario Odyssey type planet with the
Yeah.
things you
Oh
stomp
my
down,
God, I
and
love-
it
man, Yoshi
rotates
sounds so
around.
goddamn good.
And then
Yoshi's Island kicks ass.
I know none of you are all MMO peeps, but boy, doing some of those big raid boss fights in an MMO
Sure.
with a bunch of people in Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft. Gosh, that stuff would be
Any
so
of the
freaking
Resident
cool.
Evil boss fights?
The 4 remake had
Or
very good boss fights. The one with Krauser, where because there's a lot of them
Yes.
you're like fighting monsters and it's great, but then you're fighting Krauser and it's kind of a one-on-one like knife fight
Yeah.
first, and then later he's a bit mutated.
Yeah.
And you're doing all these knife parries and before that you're running this kind of American Gladiator gauntlet. Resident Evil 4
Yeah.
remake is so freaking good.
Village had some good boss fights.
Village
Yeah.
did have good boss fights. Yeah.
It's another FromSoft game, so it's not really the spirit. But man, Armored
Cookies and
Core
Cream?
6.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
they have that
Yeah.
too. But Armored Core 6, like every time I got to a
Yes.
boss, it was just like,
Mm.
this is the coolest I've ever felt. This is the coolest video games have ever been. Yep.
Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry's had a ton
Yeah.
of good ones.
Going back to Resident Evil, because people usually shit on the Resident Evil 3 remake, and I get the problems, but the final boss fight there, yes, the giant nemesis, where like battle damage Jill picks up that rail gun, whatever, that's like 3 times her size, and you just like have to blast off his festering pus-filled sacks. Oh, it feels good. It looks awesome.
going back to that whole thing of like, you're so used to fighting gigantic monsters. In DMC3, when you fight Virgil, it just
Yeah.
feels so
I love that.
Oh, sure.
cool.
So fucking cool.
I mean, that is what makes like From Boss so good often. It's like, this is a guy that has the same skill set I
Yes.
do, and I have to figure it out, and they're just really good at it.
the
That
defense and
rules.
offense and figuring
Yep.
out your windows of opportunity. And like, I love any boss fight where it's just like you're on top of like a tower and it's a fucking circle. And so
Yeah.
we're gonna fight on this fucking fighting game ass stage.
Yeah, well, that's like the final fight in Wind Waker against Ganondorf is still
That's awesome,
probably my
too.
favorite Ganondorf fight because it is. So usually, it used to be, well, you fight human Ganondorf and then he turns into a monster. And there it's like, no, he starts in the monster, then he just becomes the dude, and it's just a sword fight.
What if he was
with
just a
this awesome
samurai?
axe.
Yeah, and then you stab him in the fucking head.
It's so good. I know they said no from Saw, but I've been playing Sekiro. I'm kind of getting close to the end, and oh my god, those boss
Shouldn't-
fights are so freaking good.
Yeah. Oh god. Boss fights are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for a while it felt like it was becoming a lost art. And I think that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
FromSoft spoke to a lot of people because there was this emphasis on making boss fights cool and important again.
Mike, any of the Kingdom Hearts boss fights stick out to you? I'm trying to rack my brain for
Oh
that.
yeah, sure. I mean, I think both of the Secret Sephiroth boss fights in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are really cool. I remember fighting Chernobog in 1 towards the end was really neat because he was again gigantic and you had to kind of fly up there and attack his face. The Hydra in 2, get up on the Hydra's back, or Cerberus in Kingdom Hearts 1. Both of those final ones, especially in 2, the final fight against Xemnas. There's that bit there where you have to become Riku and save you, and then at the end, there's like a million laser beams that you have to push X and triangle and repeat to deflect all of them until you get the hit back on them. It's actually pretty sweet.
Boss fights are cool, turns out.
Yeah.
Oh, not Xemnas. No, wait.
It is Xemnas,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's Xemnas, yeah. So someone said Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 1, and I got scared. But actually,
Scary.
they're wrong. It's Ansem in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm okay.
Yeah, Dan will deliver the Define Zemnis and Ansem for folks after the podcast today.
Thank you.
Um,
Yes.
Mike from Oklahoma City writes in, "Hi, Bombers. My girlfriend and I are visiting Minneapolis for the first time in October. I was wondering if Dan has any spots he'd like to recommend for folks new to the city. I'm thinking things like breweries, restaurants, or parks, but I'm open to any and all suggestions. I've been a longtime listener, and I'm so excited to support you as a premium member in this new era of Giant Bomb. Thank you for all you do." Mike from Oklahoma City.
You want a fancy dinner? Go to Dario in the North Loop. Great Italian pasta stuff they make in the house that is absolutely delicious. That's my favorite place in the city. If you want some good burgers, non-Juicy Lucy style, go to Lion's Tap in Eden Prairie. You want a Juicy Lucy, make sure you go to Matt's Bar. That's the real deal, Juicy Lucy. You want to do bars and stuff. I like the Vegas Lounge in the Northeast. The Vegas Lounge in Spring Street Tavern is a block away. You can walk there. You can get spring wings. I think I might be taking Jesse Vitelli to get some spring wings on Friday, I believe.
Yeah.
So spring wings and walk over to Vegas Lounge. Northeast has a bunch of great little dive bars and stuff like that. Parks and stuff, go to the chain of lakes, Badema-Casca, Lake of the Isles, and Lake Harriet. Do a walk around there, and then go get some ice cream over at Sebastian Joe's. Any number of things you can do. Just great food, great places to hang out, great place to drink. I think you will enjoy it quite a bit.
Hell yeah. There you go, Mike from Oklahoma. I hope you have a wonderful time in October. Sean from Wigan, UK, writes in.
Wigan Wednesday.
Wigan Wednesdays. Hi, Bombers.
Sorry.
I'm just finishing up Jason Schreier's book, Play Nice, and looking for recommendations on what to read next. I've read Jason's other books and also Masters of Doom after Grubb mentioned it in the podcast. Mike Drucker's Good Game No Rematch only releases here later this month, so I plan on picking that up then. What other video game themed books would you all recommend? Do you have any favorite novels you would like to recommend as well? Congrats on your independence. Love you all. Sean from Wigan Wednesdays, UK.
I'm kind of looking for more myself because I liked Masters of Doom
Yeah.
a lot, and I've kind of been doing more old computer books. Like right now, I'm reading one about the history of the chip. So it's it's not quite as game focused, but still adjacent to that because it's how we discovered and
always bring
invented
up the
this
game stuff, yeah.
technology, right? There's one that's specifically about Atari that I forget what it's called, but I might dive into that and learn a little bit more there. There's some I'm skeptical. So, you stumble upon these, like the history of Nintendo.
I know.
By some guy I haven't heard of. I'm like,
There's a definitive one.
Yeah.
There's a definitive history of Nintendo one that everyone always talks about, but I can never remember, and I haven't read it myself. So I intend to do that. And maybe Power Up, I think, is what it was.
Yeah.
That might be it. Yeah.
Iwata's book is pretty good, I've heard, right?
Ask Iwata, I did read that
Ask
one.
Iwata's great.
Okay.
It's kind of just a compilation of those things, but it's good.
But they do like thread them together. They tell a story from one to the other, so it does read like a book, and I thought it was very well done.
Console Wars, was very good. I know maybe there was a lot of hype there and people kind of gotten over it, but Console Wars was great.
Yeah, Blake did a good. I think it's Blake. Yeah, he did a good job with that. That's a well told story for sure.
And Backlar's not here. He would definitely say Ready Player One.
Yeah, okay. These days he's more into Ernest's poetry than
That
anything
is
else.
true. Yeah.
Ready Player
Yeah.
2.
God,
Ready Player 2.
that's a Spielberg movie, huh?
Yeah, I
Yes,
saw
it
that. And I
is.
was like,
Wild.
what
That
the
William
fuck is this?
Spielberg. Steven Spielberg made a movie with Tracer in it.
Yeah, it was. I thought he was gonna because he's referencing a lot of his old own movies, and I thought he was gonna deconstruct the whole idea, and it's like nope.
It's the Imagination Land South Park episodes.
It's just that
Just
with like a pretty lazy hero's journey thing pasted on top of it.
it takes place in Columbus. So
Yeah, I don't think it's
counts.
some
Cool.
terrible movie or anything, but there's something weird about its existence.
Yeah, I agree.
The book I was trying to think of was Game Over by David Sheff. Thank you, Mudron. I appreciate that.
I will second Drucker's book, Good Game No Rematch. I was laughing out loud throughout that book. I loved it.
I'll read a book.
Also,
all right.
Dracula. That's a good book.
Just one about Count Dracula.
It's about Count Dracula.
It's based on Castlevania. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Bram Stoker was
Yeah.
a big Castlevania head. Yeah.
I always if people ask for an audiobook, I think my favorite one still was called Rocketman, and it was about Apollo 8, the first people who orbited the moon and then came back. I liked that one a lot. I think I made Jeff read that at some point.
I did, and then I read that guy's other book about deep sea divers, and that was great too. So read that one.
You could also check out Boss Fight Books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dives on specific
Mhm.
games. Friend of the website. Shouts out to
Mhm.
Gabe. Or you
Kelsey
could be
Lewin
like,
just did an Animal Crossing book that got turned into an audiobook for them. So go check that out.
did Kelsey
Yeah.
do the audiobook or?
No, someone else, and
Oh,
she was like,
okay,
"This is very cool." Yeah.
I did it.
I
Hi,
would-
everyone. This is Mike Minotti. This is Animal Crossing. Once upon a time, there were
Let him
video
go. Let him go.
games.
Let him go. Let's see how long.
Yeah.
And the video games
No, he's gonna
used to
keep
be
going. That's the
about jumping
problem.
on people and shooting things. And then some brave man, Mr. John Nintendo, said there must be a better way.
He's so proud of himself.
Wow. Kelsey's
50
writing is
years
different than what I thought it'd be.
On the Nintendo 64. It was called Animal Forest there.
Okay, we're learning.
Yeah, it didn't come out in the US in the Nintendo 64. The DD drive may have been involved. I forget.
I was like, I was gonna ask. Was it a 64 DD game?
It might have
Siri,
involved
remind me. Look this up later.
that. Then the greatest video game console ever, the Nintendo GameCube, was released, and all of humanity was searching for ways to increase its glory. And they're like, Animal Forest. We forgot to release that in the West. Oops.
And also get Cubivore on there while we're at it.
Right, and then Shigeru Miyamoto rose from his platinum desk and said, Animal Forest is a stupid fucking name. My homies in the West will not like that. And they're like, shit, what are we gonna do?
Homies in the West.
And he
Shout out to
stood up
Belby's in the West.
with the God rays shooting behind him, blinding his lovely peers as he just screamed the words, Animal Crossing! And then money fell from the sky. And then as the years went by, there was more money because there was a pandemic. And lots of people were hurt and died. But Nintendo sold a lot of copies of a video
Kind
game.
of insensitive for Kelsey to just skip over the pandemic. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I thought that too, but she wasn't taking notes. The end.
Wow.
Wow.
Good job, Kelsey Lewin.
Good job, Kelsey. Yeah.
Please, someone clip this and send this to her.
Yeah. Email Min-Max about her thoughts on the pandemic.
Just everyone in chat deeply concerned about Mike and wondering if he's okay. Yes, he's fine.
It's a day
This
for
is
Mike.
normal.
Today for Mikey's.
It's a day for Mikey's, everybody.
It doesn't mean anything.
Provocative.
That'll be the name of my book, A Day for Mikey.
Subtitle: It's provocative. Yeah.
I just imagine it's a picture of Mike sitting at a like a dock or something, kicking his feet.
Kicking my tutters.
Man.
Why don't you like tutters?
Kicking his tutters into his
I
hamburger.
don't like it when grown-ass people talk like children.
You
I
say
mean, that's the-
banana or whatever all the time. Banana.
No, because that's how the Donkey Kong thing was. Banana.
Oh, so Donkey Kong
the
said burger, it'd be
cheeseburger
fine.
and the tutters is a bridge too
No,
far.
I
sir.
love cheeseburger.
No,
I started
You're a
saying that in my
grown-ass
day-to-day
man.
life. Like 4th of July, I had a bunch of cheeseburgers.
There you go. Were you
not
bear
you, Dan.
tutters?
I'm the last
Proggies for cheeseburger.
I'm the last person you want to not say if you want to say words right or sentences correctly.
yeah, Mr. Clippard.
Yeah, exactly.
There was like
the
a
box-
thread was Jan saying all these words wrong on purpose? Talking about.
There we had a voicemail come in about that, and I just didn't put it with the show because I purposely and
Gotta
not
keep them on their
purpose-
toes.
Yeah. I need to keep people guessing. Is it a shoot? Is it work? But Liz from the UK writes in. During the Nintendo Switch 2 Live Quick Look, you guys threw hella shade at the Wipeout games. As a British person in their early 40s, I demand Pistols at Dawn.
Oh, God. Satisfaction. They demand satisfaction.
Love, Liz from the UK. P.S. The Wipeout games are shoot good. You should really revisit them. Smiley face
I
emoji.
do.
Hey, Liz, I am a tepid Wipeout supporter.
I think I was keeping my mouth shut during it, but yeah, I never got it.
It's fine.
I
It
just
just doesn't
don't-
have a lot of personality other than like rave stuff.
Right.
You know?
Someone did Molly and then made a video
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Here's my problem is that it was Signosis who then made Rascal, so the hell with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
But they
the
also made
limit.
Destruction Derby, which that was good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I would try to play Wipeout, and I was just like, this doesn't feel fun
It
or
just
good.
doesn't have a person. I don't think I like anything that reminds me of like techno music.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not my problem.
Is this why we're anti-res also?
Maybe because it's
Why
just like
do you-
that whole scene, like when I was a teenager and stuff. Like you always hear about raves and stuff. It's like this just seems stupid, and so I think anything that reminds me of that techno stuff is just like, this is lame stuff.
How do you feel about the Blood Rave in Blade 1?
That's cool.
Okay.
Because
That's
the blood.
cool. The blood rave is
Blood
cool.
rave.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because like maybe you're right because even that Germany level, it hit me 3 that everybody loved. I'm like, this level sucks. This rave is stupid. I hate this party atmosphere.
I would have any of us been to a rave?
Yeah, it was a mistake.
You went to a rave? You were
Are
the
there
last
pictures?
person. I thought maybe Grub and Jan. No
Were you-
fucking way.
No.
God, here's what I imagined.
it
You're
at
dressed as
Disney?
the baby from Messiah, and you got
It
a
was-
diaper and little wings and
It was
nothing
like-
else.
It was like exactly as advertised, just loud. Everyone's touching each other. Like, of course, my one friend got mad because like their girl was grinding on some of their guys. Like all the generic shit happened. I'm like, oh, like you can't get a beer because right there's a giant lioness at the bar. It was a big mistake.
What year was this?
2024.
I mean, definitely like over 10 years ago. Probably.
I'm just picturing this, and that's incredible.
Yeah. I did not enjoy it. The next closest thing is those Twitch parties that they always hold at.
Oh,
like, the
yeah,
candy
those are like-
Oh, we went to that one in Boston, and it's like we are old.
Yes, this is like physically harming my body being
Yes,
here
yes.
in this room.
Someone-
And it was like, there was a different DJ in 3 different rooms. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Why
like
are
the
they
old,
doing
like,
that?
It's like the World of War Tanks parties at PAX back in the day. It's like,
Yeah.
this is
Oh my
not
God,
my
yeah.
scene at all.
No, it
Mary.
is wild.
Let me DJ in one of those rooms.
Yeah.
Yes, I would much prefer Jan.
Right. Even like we had a party after event the one time, and like the DJ
Oh
was
my
too loud. And we
God.
couldn't
Oh, I
really do
hated that.
anything
Yeah.
about
And the
it.
DJ looked like me, and everyone kept like, and we had to yell, like, the DJ looks like you. And it's like, I don't like this DJ. I don't want him to look like me.
So I'm watching gameplay of Wipeout XL right now, which is supposed to be like one of the better ones, right? I think that's supposed to be like
That one's
was
good. Yeah. And the PSP ones were good too. Fusion.
they're going like 100, maybe to 200 kilometers per hour. That's like 120 miles per hour. It's just it was a game that never felt fast to me. I'm like,
You know, I'll
It's like
tell you what's
F-Zero's
sick.
right
maybe
there.
F-Zero is going like 500 miles an hour,
What's
or like
sick
400.
is that there is a Wipeout for Nintendo 64. Could you imagine playing
Yeah.
that instead of F-Zero?
No, I
I
never.
think
even tried
I might
that.
have played as much Extreme G as I did Wipeout.
Extreme G was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I like Extreme G.
Yeah. Any Kinetica guys here?
No.
No,
Oh, yeah,
but I like
brother.
Aero
Let's go.
Gauge.
Kinetica is one step away from Uma Musume anyway.
That's what they always say.
Put it on the box. All right, last 2 emails of the show here. Second to last one comes from Weed. Dear fuckos, I was just offered the job that I've been trying to get for 3 years.
Yay.
Needless to say, I'm on cloud 9 now. The only thing that would make me happier would be if tomorrow you'll finally use the Blight Club theme song I made for you.
Oh,
Gonna
right.
go re-up my GB premium now that I'm not perpetually broke. Love y'all, Weed.
Thank you. I do forget to bring that. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, we got to do that. I mean,
We're
there's a
starting a new
point-
season tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that. Oh, that's right. That is exciting. Do you have any guesses, Dan? What your game is?
Okay. Well, I do have a
Tell
guess.
everyone that you showed it to Bianca
I showed
and she
it
laughed.
to Bonk. She laughed and said it was going to be good. And didn't, one of you showed Kayla. Was it on the
I told
the Light
Kayla what
Club?
it was on it.
You told Kayla and she laughed. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the sense from their reactions that this was a game they had played, but they recognized it. And I'm thinking of Kayla too, because like Kayla loves games and stuff like that, but I don't know if she goes like super obscure knowledge. So I am thinking it is a licensed game that is notoriously bad. And I'm thinking there's Simpsons skateboarding. There is Simpsons wrestling was on PS1. You told me this is PS2. So I guess Simpsons skateboarding is
I'll
something
tell you,
I'm
Sean.
thinking
Hang
of.
on.
That would be
Huh?
timely.
Tell me as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yes, I'll tell it to Sean and Jen right now.
Okay. And here's the thing too. I have the package for the outfit, and it's just one package. and it's like from like Bob's Costumes or something. And so, and it seems like it's the size of like, you go to a Party City and it's just like a whole costume in a bag and it's just got all the parts of it. So I'm thinking it's like a Bart Simpson or something like that. I'm hung up on Simpsons, but I think it's going to be a licensed thing for PS2.
Just told Jan.
Sorry, I just saw a funny tweet.
But no, I don't know what. I guess that's the only thing I'm thinking of. What the fuck else is like notoriously bad on PS2?
Well,
like
Dan, you only have
Kayla
one
would
more day.
recognize.
Yeah, you only got one more sleep till Blight Day. It's gonna be a day for Dan's.
Yeah, it does have the same ring to it.
It doesn't, right?
A day for Danny's.
A day for
For
Danny's.
Danny's.
Oh.
Day for
Chat
Danny's.
says Shrek. Maybe. Oh god, Shrek would be pretty.
Hey,
funny.
Dan, ogres are like onions. There's just many layers, just like Blight Club.
And we did have to
Many
check to see if it
layers
was
to it.
problematic, so it probably is Shrek.
Yeah.
Wait, you did have to check to see if there was like a slur in it, which is very confusing. Is it like Bad Day LA? Is it what the fuck could that be?
Could be
Alright.
anything. Could be
Last
lots of things.
email of the show before we get to super chats. Mikey, if you could pull up the super chats, I'm going to toss it off to
Oh,
you
right.
after this.
You have to do that, yeah.
Sean says this is such a good pick. What the fuck is this?
Oh my
I'm
god.
interested to see the costume.
Sorry, I just remember Donkey Kong Bonanza's coming out soon.
Chris from Dayton, Ohio, writes
Oh
in.
no. Sorry. Kane Highwind just said Family Guy, and I forgot there is a Family Guy PS2 game, isn't there? It better not be fucking. I mean, I'd be fine with it being Family Guy. Oh my god. I
Are you
see
not
it being
feeling
that.
Bonita? Is that the problem?
I just don't like Family Guy at all.
Can I reveal something?
Fuck. I bet it's fucking Family Guy.
Can I reveal
They
something?
probably know I don't like Family Guy. There would be a Peter Griffin in a bag costume. Jan, what? Sorry, my head's spinning right now.
I actually enjoy Family Guy still.
I'm like coming back around on it, mostly just because of YouTube clips. So, yeah, this
dude,
is funny.
But
I
there's
see
the
those
play-
YouTube clips, and I'm usually like, "This is pretty bad."
Remember when
I-
remember when Peter falls and he just goes
It's funny you're saying this, Dick, because you're kind of dressed like Peter Griffin right now already.
Sorry, I opened my costume early.
Oh, Mike Minotti, can you give us your best
Peter.
Okay.
Nah, I can't do Peter. They accidentally drew me too sexy, and now everybody wants to,
Accidentally, yeah.
Yeah.
Accidentally. All right. Last email of the show comes from Chris from Dayton, Ohio. This one goes a little bit down, but then goes a little bit back up. Hey, Bomb guys. I wanted to email you all this story for a while, but I kept putting it off. I've been listening to the podcast for a long time, since roughly 2012, and I've never missed an episode, including the Beastcast when it was a thing. A friend of mine, Andy, is the one who introduced me to the podcast. When we work sitting together next to each other at our IT jobs, we talk about the episodes and try out the games everyone on the podcast talked about. Well, a week or two before the old company decided to shut us down, my friend Andy passed away, young and suddenly. The whole saga of the shutdown is intertwined with my feelings of losing my good friend so suddenly. So I was probably more emotionally invested than I should have been. All that to say, I'm glad you're still around. I always associate the podcast with my friend. You don't have to read this on air. It really doesn't match the tone of the show usually, but I just wanted to get this story out into the ether. Thanks for all you do, Chris from Dayton, Ohio. Chris, very, very sorry for your loss.
Yeah, rip to Andy for sure. That's rest in peace, bud.
Andy. Yeah, rest in power to Andy. And yeah, I thank you for sticking along with us, and I'm happy to be intertwined with the happy memories with Andy.
Another Ohio boy there.
Yep.
Do you think? God, have you ever been to Dayton, Jeff?
Yeah. I can't remember why.
Do you-
I
do you
think I saw a college football game there once. I can't remember.
Do you think Dayton is more popular than Youngstown? Am I only?
Yeah, I
Well,
feel like
yeah,
I've
I
heard
think
of
so.
Dayton
You've heard of
before
Dayton?
Youngstown.
Shoots. Youngstown's 8th. Oh my God, it's rough.
I think if you're like a small band, you're probably playing Dayton before you play Youngstown.
It's rough.
How far is Dayton, Ohio from like Quahog, Rhode Island?
Pretty far. It's more on the west side there. It's closer to Cincinnati. So you got to drive through a lot of Ohio.
Or do you mean like metaphysically, like how close
Spiritually.
to it? Spiritually.
Oh.
It's basically the same thing.
I
Yeah.
thought you meant physically. I used to go to Dayton for Ring of Honor shows. That's why we would go there.
Oh, right,
Dayton,
yeah.
Dayton actually had a hot Indie wrestling scene. Lots of indie wrestling shows are there.
Is that AIW, Absolute Intense, or is that where
That's
Gargano
Cleveland.
and
That's all
Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Dayton just had Ring of Honor like show up there all the time. So I went there. I saw Brian Danielson there when he was really young. It was when what's his face, the British guy who does commentary, but Nigel was the champion at the time.
You saw both those guys in Wembley Stadium later.
That's right, we sure did.
Mr. Minotti, if you could hit me with some YouTube super chats.
Absolutely. Prenny Dude here says, so who is the GB crew's favorite Una Musume? I think it's a Gold Week, we decided, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me go through the roster.
Gold Ship, excuse me. There's Special Week. Gold Ship. There is a Golden Week in Japan. I know this because of Persona.
I was there during that, and traffic was insane.
Right.
We didn't know what Golden Week was. Apparently, it's just 400 holidays at once.
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's mega Christmas. Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds good fun.
There's vodka. Vodka's pretty cool.
They just get a vodka, yeah.
Rice shower, I've seen blow up.
I don't think you can say that.
Yeah, that sounds like a special.
No, it's
That
okay.
sounds like it only happens on anniversaries.
Yeah. Wiley Jeckett says, we had a cookout and my mother has a jar of relish that was years old. She thinks that expiration dates are a suggestion. No, those are put there for a reason.
Well, no, there's different ones. There's expiration dates, and then there's Best Buy, which is a fake thing. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
also
Best
a
Buy
big
is
box
like, okay, that
retail
might be
store.
kind of stale or something.
It's
afterwards.
like, no, it's to create a sense of urgency so that when you see it, you throw it out, so you have to go buy more. It's like, it's definitely
this
just
is useful information. Okay.
Expiration date is real, though.
Okay, good to know. Sean J says you should do a 900 in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater episode 900, or we should Jeff. Okay, you got a good amount of time here. What episode number is this? 98. Okay, you have 2 months. Can you learn how to do a shoot 900 in 2 months, Jeff Grubb?
I mean, look, if I had decent health insurance, someone to train me, I bet I could do a 540. Not the
you would
greatest.
get hurt before an injury would absolutely.
It'll be one of those things where it
sideline
goes off into the styrofoam. And not
right. If I was in a perfect training facility with all of the advantages, I think I could do a 900 without landing it. Like I could do a 900 into the styrofoam.
I'll tell you
out
what.
of an airplane, I could do one. Yeah.
You'll see me do a 900 in the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 quick look. That's probably going to go up later
Do you
today.
think, Grubb, if you lived at Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, you could train up in 2 months to do a 900?
I mean, I think if it's like the way I obsess over things, and if it was like if I was doing it every day for 2 months, I think I get pretty close. McTwist seems really hard. People are saying that would be 540 McTwist seems very difficult. I don't know.
I'm gonna do that Ninja Turtles manual from the new one.
Oh, go ahead.
Is Rob Dyrdek still doing things? You think we could be friends with him?
Ridiculousness is on 24/7 on MTV.
It's all they play. Yeah.
We should just do ridiculousness, but here.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Done.
All right. Dave Makowicz says, can we please have Mike and Grubb separately read a news article and layer them on top of each other? Love you all. I'll read one he said earlier then. Less than 20% of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 soundtrack is made up of songs from the original games. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 remake features only 10 songs from the original games alongside 54 new tracks. While some fan favorites are included, many others, like AC/DC's TNT, are missing. Tony Hawk stated he personally decided to include a mix of new and classic songs, hoping players would enjoy discovering new music as they did with the original games. There you go.
Well done.
I literally am just like doing Jeff's cadence because I've heard him read news stories to me for over a decade now.
Dan, give it a shot. Dan, give it a shot.
Oh, we're
This
in the
is the
news
third one.
section there.
I
Okay. Less than 20% of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 soundtrack is made up of songs from the original games. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 remake features only 10 songs from the original games, alongside 54 new tracks. Wow. While some fan favorites are included, many others, like AC/DC's TNT, are missing. Tony Hawk stated he personally decided to include a mix of new and classic songs, hoping players would enjoy discovering new music as they did with the original games. Well, thanks, Tony.
I can't
When
believe
did
this.
you become Daffy Duck?
I know. I
it's
can't
like
believe the
Daffy-
nerdy scientists from The Simpsons fucked Daffy Duck and they had a baby together.
Okay, so I was getting that, but I was also getting Weird Al Yankovic from that. Interesting. Incredible.
Rose, if you asked me before that what Daffy Duck's voice sounded like, I wouldn't know. And now apparently it's that.
Willie Jenkins says, "Can I play Uma Musume in public and not be judged?" I gotta be honest. Jan was just playing in front of me, among friends,
And we were judging.
and I was judging him. So I think the answer is no. I think the answer is
Hey, YouTube super chatter, be brave. Choose to be brave. Live your truth, bud.
Greg says Turbo Sean was right. We should have stopped Jan from playing the Horse Girl game. Now it's too late, and Jan is approaching grub levels of degenerate. Dan and I are going to be the only good boys left here.
We're the normal ones, Mike.
Here we are.
Okay, all right. I want someone. I can't do run a poll from the chat interface I have here, but someone run a poll. Who are the badder boys, Grub and Jan, or Mike and Dan?
Batter boys?
Yeah, the badder boys.
Huh.
I don't think we're gonna do, despite my label as the bad boy.
I don't know. I've seen Mike Minotti basically have a panic attack at the idea of jaywalking. So
I was at a rave.
it's not inherently illegal.
And the list of things he did at the rave was just notice things that were annoying or giving him stress. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. EDF Box says, "Is the glue making a mini game or a cutscene?" I bet we are just 10 years removed from the parody version of this, where it gets real weird and you do turn the girls into glue. Anyone?
Just let him away.
Do you agree? Do you disagree?
We all just wanted a clean
I
read of
just was
that.
very excited to let that sentence linger.
Greg says Kojima needs to make an anime gotcha game for Dan.
I think I would not partake.
I mean, it's not like you try playing Snatcher,
Right.
which everybody loves, and you can't just force it because it's Kojima. That's just not your kind of
it's got to
game.
be in a realm of something I would enjoy. Yes.
Yeah. Willie Jenkins says, "I got a mortgage to pay. I don't care what console you are playing." Going back to our talk about the console wars, it is it's like the worst time ever to be a console warrior.
It's so over. These
Always
companies do not
been-
care about it.
It was dumb as fuck when kids at recess in 1994 were yelling about Genesis for Super Nintendo. It is just more embarrassing now.
All right, yeah, but there was maybe a leg to stand on there. They're pretty different systems. With
They were very
different,
different. Yeah.
with different games, even the games that were quote unquote the same. Or
Yeah, like a Street Fighter 2 is a different experience than these.
Yeah,
Mega Man,
All right. But now it's
Yeah,
you're
just
playing
get-
20X Pro Skater 3+4 on an Xbox instead of a PlayStation 5. Wow, congratulations. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alex WP says, "Put this towards Donkey Kong 64 101%. What do we call
There
that?
you go.
Donkey 100 and Mitch percent?
100 what?
I don't know, I thought that had a good ring to it.
100
Mitch percent.
4DK, 64DK rap.
Donkey Kong. Yeah. Donkey
Congo.
Kong
No.
Congo?
64? No.
Congo, yeah.
Pixie Mitch. No.
We keep saying it that he's going to do this and he's going to have to do it at some point.
That's
So
how it
it's going to be amazing.
I'm almost I almost shouldn't say because I guess people want to see me suffer. I don't think I'm going to mind it that much.
I
We'll see.
thought that too before Burrow My Bananas.
Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe I'll be put in my place.
Donkey
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
Dum Dum Banjo says the DK64 fund is alive and well. Thank you. Matthew Zingale says, "Now that Felt That Boxing has been announced, can we get a realistic kaiju game with realistic suits?" So who's in it? Pudgy
that'd
Pig,
be good.
Pigmon. Oh, I would love a Godzilla game that is clearly man in a suit inspired. That'd be awesome,
Yeah.
actually. Oh, that would look so cool. Oh, someone has to do that. I'd love that. And then Last Geek here says, "When I was 18, I had a son. And being a dumb 18-year-old kid, I named him first name Jack, middle name Daniels."
Oh,
He
they're going
is-
to say Jack Daxter.
Let's be clear.
I don't
That'd
know.
be better.
I don't know why my mind went to that. The kid's middle name would be Off or
Aw.
I was Jack Sparrow and I was going to be embarrassed for him. All yours were way worse.
He is 18 now. And my question is, do you think this dumb bit can benefit him in any way? Free Jakes would be,
Yeah.
From 21 to 26, I think people will like that. His
Yeah.
name is Jack
Yeah.
Daniels.
And then he's going to go
whatever.
by JD after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Julie's
people are
Nothing
gonna
wrong with
care.
that.
I'm trying to think of how you could turn Hennessy to like a name.
Oh.
Henry.
Did you guys see what I named my island in Fantasy Island?
This was very good.
No.
Fantasy Life
I
the
missed
girl
the
who stole
beginning.
time.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so I named it. It's like one word with a comma. No man is an island.
Oh.
No man is an island. It looks
Mike,
better
I
when you
loved
see
it.
it. I was cracking up. No man is an island.
When I tuned in to Mega Man last night, your character was wearing a turban, and then I felt put off.
No, it's because he looks like the Dragon Quest V character. I'm a mage.
Okay.
I cast
Mike.
spells.
It's a day for Mikey.
Just like anyone with a turban, right, Mike?
We don't need a turban. It's high.
All right, thank you, Mike Minotti.
Oh,
For
like that guy from Harry Potter who's actually the bad guy. Was a big. Remember, he was hiding Voldemort.
Oh,
in the
weird.
back of his head.
Racially insensitive stuff from J.K. Rowling. Weird.
I know. How strange.
God, even then, I thought the name Cho Chang was offensive.
It's strange.
It
and
is.
I'm a different kind of Asian. Thank you, Mike Minotti, for the YouTube super chats. What do we got going on for the rest of this week, boys? We got a new season of Blight Club starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dan, any last minute guesses?
I'm stuck on Family Guy now. Simpsons. I feel like I'm maybe I'm being too myopic down that license, specifically Fox animated hole. I do think it's licensed. I'm just trying to think of what other possible thing it could be that Kayla would have known about.
Are you familiar with maybe like the aughts of cartoons?
I had a weird hang
Nickelodeon?
up about that, about like Adult Swim and stuff like that, because it was for stoners and yeah.
Sean, I'll just show you what the costume's going to be. Do you want to see it?
Oh man.
I'll put it in the chat with me and Sean.
Yeah, I'm going to. All right, hang on.
We have Game S mornings popping off for the rest of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right, Grub?
That's right. We'll be back. We'll have some cool people on there. Jan, we'll probably have you on Thursday or something. It'll be a good time. Looking forward to it.
God, thank God I'm one of the cool people.
Yep.
Some light changes coming to GMM fairly soon.
Yeah, just visual changes. We're just sprucing things up again.
Some cool stuff. I like what I've
Yeah.
seen.
Yes, exactly. Some cool people helping us out to make things look neat, and I'm all for it.
Mist and Mega Man were yesterday. Mike continued his journey with Grub and I through Mist, and Mike had played through Fantasy Life. The girl who, what is it, Mike?
She stole time.
Gross. Yeah.
I don't know which girl stole time yet. I have my suspicions though.
Fantastic. Tomorrow we got Grub's grab bag. Going to be playing through.
So I put it to a vote, and I guess the vote's still up. I haven't checked, but there was kind of a runaway winner early on, and it was basically, what should I do for this show? And there was should I do a grub snacks? Should I do this or that? One of the options was one of the Steam grab bags, the grub bags, where we just do random weird stuff on Steam, where like I have you all choose a word, we search that word, and then we just download a bunch of games and try them out. So we're going to be doing that likely during the Grubs gimmick segment after GMM tomorrow, before we get to Blight Club.
Fantastic. Voicemail dump truck with a very special guest this week. But before the dump truck this week, we got the Jan-Tucky Derby. That's right. We're going to race some horses. It's going to be a great time. I feel like y'all are going to... the thing is, I feel like I like to pretend that I give off a cool persona, a calm, cool persona here amongst y'all. Now that I own this company as well, that mask is slowly coming down.
I love it. Yeah.
And the degenerate is just showing. Break me out of jail.
Horse girls.
I texted Barbara Jan during the show of like, hey, what do I got to do to get a mullet? And then he just texted me a gif of Birdman like rubbing his hands together. And then on Friday, gang, we are going to a cruise. That's right. The four of us are going to have another punishment stream for UPF this week, where we see who can get to the cruise at the end of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 the fastest.
Should we like, are we going to need to beat the goals in the cruise, or should it just be like hop in the water, you know?
First one to hop in the water
I like that.
Ship and then go overboard. First to go overboard.
Yeah. Jan, can you Photoshop up? Is it the Adam Sandler going overboard?
Adam Sandler.
I think the cover of it.
Man.
Okay,
Yep.
look at the images. It's the one where he's going like, "Rah." We got to do that. So Photoshop us doing that thing. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just copy and paste them several times of us going.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Anything else we got going on this week, boys? Or
quick
things
look.
to plug? Oh, quick look
Yeah.
for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3-4 going up later today. You boys are gonna go try and record another derby of sorts, a demo derby.
Yes.
And
right.
no horse
Couple
girls
hours.
allowed.
Yeah, it
in
won't be
this
a pretty derby.
It's so fucking Family Guy because that's the possibility of a slur that makes perfect sense. It's Family Guy.
There's
It's
always a
Family Guy.
possibility of a slur, Dan.
That tracks with every single thing that Kayla would have immediately recognized it and thought it'd be funny. It's a bad game. It's a game that would have had a slur in it. It's Family Guy. I
Folks,
hate Family Guy.
that about does it for this week's episode of the Giant Bombcast. The road to episode 900 continues. Until then,
I'm looking
he's
at you,
been
Grub.
Dan. He's been Grub. He's been Mike. I've been Jan, and you at home have been quite bonita. Peter. Well, see you next
Family
week.
Guy thing.
Yes, these are all Family Guy.
Sopranos PS2.
That's a very bad game as well.
Road to Respect.